A question when in a case ben teach age
uh
based on ideological differences.
uh
SPLM on Dr. John Will that uh, he wanted the near Sudan.
uh
Ku koi ke jam aka aka separatists. Na
yana
ka
ka
ben
ben
sometimes ko
ko
bela
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 tu
tuji.
okay tita na kar bi ko ping yen ka because people are not listening to ako piange okay and lot na ping yin ka pe lot
I don't know. Can they hear me?
lot jam jam
That question is exhausted.
okay no lot question okay yeah acha exhausted in ya lakini le ba teacher de no angle de pe
No, no, it's in way there because they quite got well anyway.
yen
But like I had a different take because Kito,
uh
it seems like Dr. John has I mean Kito gonna in accord South could be separated.
mhm
But accord inclusivity because it was a mind game, it was a political game,
you're right
right? In a K poll because a chico got a chicken understand. Man ko come na jam le Dr. John ako be Sudan with marriage. But technically Kikor because quite to Khartoum I majority.
mhm
And I think when like we happen bugudang Nuba ko we ko kitor alongside
mhm
the SPLM. It can hear you like in the case call Dr. John because yes, misunderstanding it's ben because I can be le koi kijunup koi katar ka separatists below awake kini yentar kuki. But for now, we're aiming higher, right?
uh
Like all we aim higher. But kukorku ejunup, right?
uh
Now kin ku Sudan ku kin gula yoba den ka wobu joba lui fall back to the south, right?
uh
Which is yeah get the kin ka ruping then because the koi ke to ko big a separatist. Ko Dr. John Lwe ko New Sudan, which is inclusive. A ke ruping ending. And I believe you okay Dr. John actually fail here. Ko be koi ke bele cake like we kaya ka lwe nyai. But we could talk on end. Now we cook a Junuben or cook a Jugayok, right?
uh
So let's go for the uniting Sudan. And now you real bad and you fall back to Koyan Korku,
you're right
right? Pekenen kaya yoke ending. It's not like Dr. John Allah for the whole Sudan.
uh
But Kikor able majority Bukabay a Koikot. And I think he was aiming higher.
uh
I think a bigger picture. Could be Kubuku Nang Koikok, Buku Nang allies within Sudan because Koika Jidung Kagajwich.
you're right
Tuman on Chi o Nuba man Chike Chiwone and Koich Jator
uh
alongside the SPLM.
you're right
You can in a kai aim at Dr. John, but a Kenny Joe communicated effectively. Could be koi a big understand. When a chief all that in a chairman bay within in a chief split. Could ya the mess in a chairman cause within the SPLM.
yen ki chatting man ki talk Victor
Mm-hmm.
ki did man tin ma one of the major problem in ki talk in our communities whether you like it or not uh, uh, concept can be wrongly developed ku kuiping
Yeah.
ku ideological differences manachi ko kwa think how it can be bad and anong tun pelo ko ke piet pe ngwen che man gut ko pel ko ke piet pe nya ka ye ka lwel ku pel ko ke piet pe go people can learn ke yen mu kila chen ko ye ne kor bi ko ne bo ko won kor bi ko ne bo ko bi differences bi ga det aliu ayala lum che man de yen you must treat everything ke ye che man wet concept nge gat ku nge yen la ku nge yen la na lo ko teacher lo ko le yen what is the concept yen what do you define aguna dai man ruon to wo ka tin ke banang opinion wa che ne ke die ke ne victor cha che wo che in to man capital of Australia anyi ke ka lo ka ke le ro lara be nge ben lara le yinom de lo ka na ran chinom tuong ko na ran chin ngo lekin a let ke boku ku lo ke non ke level of agreement when that they reach ku le ka yen it is all about the interest by so be
Yeah.
ko bi ka pi pal pen ko bi understanding ka le yo a ben go ya we are ke ko won ke concept of united Sudan ko ke new Sudan ku ko ke concept of separated south ake nang the scare ideology dole ke jalu la ka bete ka babul ku banyo be ko cha yu ke ni te kin ye
Yes.
ping and so that is one thing that young people must correct they need to read and study hard and the moment they do that that will be very helpful ka ba ka coin
Mm.
so yin right ben ka ne cha le la pet be ko pir bara yelo
Okay. I got check more ben.
nja mo de
My question, chicken the mantar, chicken the man within rain, the mantar chubak kuja the man within,
mm
a yenta ogden ko kajwit, a jor paidit ko tabu kero chokten, a changi. So in Kujan Banjalti, right now, the vision at top, and Tehran in CS in a diary thing are different,
mm
especially kajwit, I quad baby. Achain, acharan, and chill, achamoiner and chill, la karai ki la karai pe mon jang yo po che ti wale mo mere len kuna em chi mon jang le la I ko to I don't know one problem so kana bro ko la kede tin ki gen z ama tin ki chabab te ka biga ta ko po la na te da ran ben na rai ku bi ko ben a yen opportunity big daddy ben ring ran won ki po tik daddy ale bu kwa da bon like da bon chi ngi ten ko le bu ko ran ko wa ne yo ran ne ti okay ko chile ko le bijay ko ko de ko wani ni yo pora men meke so kana bu ko pyo gi do one by one until la ko ni ben
ye cha betol pir ke toke it's a very simple thing, you know, and I will tell you one thing. Chakwene Kenya nen, chakari Kenya.
no
Okay, kito ke pioche two thing, ay ke chirko war bai. Ma in chiro war bai pan monjang in chika lo look chok de in chilo tim chok tim wen yen ke look ye ke chok.
ai ndi
Okay, war koi ter wong war ay ke ay nyu je bainom ko la bara. E wong du ne e jon ngang nen. Ko la kon jam. Ke le rane ka jot la ko le rane ka jot la. Bi wong den look ba den abe wong den abe wunu wong abe yok corruption may be involved the queen wunu wong abe yok ba den nga ka be jam go le wong de di dan di wong ku ka jetem yit kalang ku ka to that is this is what is the in the politics until we come to the concept like that in politics we can disagree but we must agree so because at the end of the day the winner is is the person that agree when the person won Kulele Lui win for the next 2 years. The other person who failed must join the other person to in order to succeed. Now, Bela Bena Leka Nanke ideology of a national interest in peer. National interest, actually, watch a thing roti and adi ngak. A watch a thing roti how can we survive? And how can we survive as a nation? In a cake, Tangweg man go a ringti. Take example, any man Iran to know in Ran Warabi state. Wala.
yeah
Okay, take example, the person sitting next to you. uh, Victor. Victor era and Warabi State by birth. But now you can man can call Jonglei State. You cannot believe that he's from there. Why? Because he has integrated with them, he has lived with them. So in yen man anang two different good cultures. If he goes back, ko win bany panden na Dubai panden wa kule jam panden ka nyi chale e win bany panden. Lakin le ben man be ben bore ka twitch is it, you will respect him. Yeah, kokol ko ye dia de ko pol, ye dia ka kwat. He knows them, all of them. Now, with that level of knowledge, if South Sudanese were to develop that mentality, I will give you example also. I speak Anuak. Nalara within Anuak now, I am treated as one of them. They take me kind of man then. The same thing to Nangra Nyitongo Nwer or Jing or Nwer Nyitongo Monja is treated like that. And why? You have just solved a major problem with one simple formula. The formula is that go to other cultures, learn good about them. The moment you come back, you will have a story to tell. Prejudice ke lo ke you, I'll give you example anchilo Anuak lo go ayokule Anuak I wrote the check. Well, before I went, go la go la ka wrote the check. Ku kai doj ke na yi ke lar beneka kurla de e chol ngo, kwaj. When I went there, everything was a lie. I went and discovered that. I went and discovered that these are very, very nice people. Very young man, to the Monjang. Take example, a little bit Monjang, we the Monjang, we the Monjang. Okay. Kuna lora and teacher local okay. Big target can balula and go thing our top and no. If you are very lucky, ka lelo la ke moy warap full stop. You know, bin will not even young themselves will not or bulula ke moy warap alwe nang moy warap to all man moy warap. Na lo teacher local moy kwaj bangi no. A lo ti gule moy tweet bangi no. Lele ye moy Tony within Tony and 21 communities. Bangi no. Apia, how do you unite with people that you don't know? We mean the young themselves, they don't know themselves. And at the same time, they think that they can unite. How will you unite? So the best thing is this education is the solution to everything. The moment you start to understand people, the moment you will tell good stories about them. And if that is the concept, that it must be applied by everybody. And because South Sudan will be better. You take example again, go to also Barelo Tang Nuer. Nuer is a diverse community like the Dinka. They don't even know much about themselves. Now you man di the nasa a chirmo in bor kana mo kwanya yo. What is nyiji mo bor kana mo kwanya yo you can die you no. Ka mo bor kana mo luanjang. Be die you to know. Unless they meet in Juba. But ngaga kikala penyanga. So if you look at the eastern Nuer in my wood, twinyi maya dit kan twijeti kan bul ke ka tiok den law kan bul. Mana tu wet ke nyir ke kwe ke de ne chol kwa men tene kwany de ne kwany bul kene tuny ma yadi mid majority mid ke nyir ke kwany bul kwach ato ke mid ke nyir ke twech ku majority mid ke nyir ke twech ten mid ke nyir ke twech ato including is Stephen boy won yan tuny ma yadi na lo ben ten lo ben jongle state how many people are there ke nwer kwa wet ke nyir ke jeng ku jeng ato ya ke mid ke nyir ke nwer. So with that concept, majority of young people, you need to learn much about our tribes, learn the positive stories that can kill tribalism, the negative tribalism, if I have answered you properly.
Yeah, your answer quite right. Along many questions coming can get clear, but that will be below right now. So I think I'll then see you next time.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mading, I hope you ben loy. Is it better now?
It's better. It's
Okay,
better do it.
o ci bela du ka
But to win them Victor to echo. But
no
to win goal got a jam the choke to echo but to
no
lose.
I know the problem now.
Okay.
Huh? I think
All right. Thank you, Annabelle.
you dig now.
Uh, yeah, it's better now. Much better.
Or a computer problem.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Okay.
Ka enin ba ka enin ba ja ka to ka twen e lai because ke choi development wala be kan be ka pya da
Mm.
kula twen de ba ben from barong e ki ran na te barong e ba be no ku ba no am ba sacrifices ko achila before you ba ka nge ya te kan ga ina jengi. Just a quick comment about Kawunewa about the ideological differences between our forefathers to thought for Sudan or for justice. I think. Ke konta the my understanding one to ngai ma de ke no to on choko thought ku ko chi Victor Chebeka that want to clarify a bit. I think. But yes, the way I understood it, I a strategy. Ngai wane Chebela lom ko chike ye garang ye lel kulele aka be ba be mare be ba be tok be Sudan be tok be chen ni dunu be chen ngai no. The thing was ke ta injustice. Ku injustice ku chi bijal ke separation abia inevitable. Whether you get a ngoto a banage will anybody ke separation abia inevitable. Take any justice, take any railway fix. The chin injustice bitter. Okay. The ideology that rape in the north, nante, in the north of Sudan, achirabuwa the thing. Because the deception Chikulu play in the early 50s, the deception they played where chi South Chen Bedon disregarded kwe not a lot of engineering a little bit of the engineering in talking in leadership kwe engineering a little bit of development bebe that thing kula South le don't way all of those that deception Chikulu play a chikapal that thing so they were not going together so injustice happened with capital which means suppression are be inevitable. But the strategy is and because make one chief victor wele because we because na lo kulo wo ta ko sa ku tarku e buku nang panda wo pe kada dang chi dar fo chi bu ko be na part of the kada kete da dang chi ko ki bu ko be a part of ke
Not
tar ku
even
tai.
tag the Mading. Not even tag the
Mhm.
yen. That was the case in 1960. In
Mhm.
1960s. Majority ko chilo chaman minon akuma madi theron. Ke koi ke to jeche chaye ke dar for kunuba. And 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 they were going to a good man war okay a good maria junub ake dar for ka de riya Sudan man ke ka de so it was going to be tough. And so the ideology was the way you put it was correct thing in today. Lakini kana chi garanga chi ben explain it 2 or 3. You know non concept ye ngong ma jo lo ko le yen ne ke concept that was applied. Alwe ke yo ku duin mading ku ke da wayin. So ku achi jab lwel you know in 2 or 3 when he was doing the dissemination of the CPA before the information before the final agreement. Achi lwel I junubin ka koi ke garang I don't know why were people not able to listen to the man. Actually lemading actually koi kulwel we there was a concept of my ngong my jolo kulwel in mading ku yokudu itok ke da wayin. Alwe kuna yo ke dia tok. Alwe le kene mabiro panyagor that was on the 23rd of March 2003. Yo lo kulwel yen ante Umar Bashir cha gam kin we ko ware jam kulwel ke bai garanga ci kuru bai take panga gedian. Alwe we have now created a very big dilemma for this man. Ran cholo Umar Bashir. Alwe le dilemma you created ke alwe ke nomro. Alwe watching on one central bank with 2 windows. Alwe wobbinang army with 2 arms. and then there will be a center. Ku jol we ku lel yen ki chiro jabe loy ki jol ki de na nang the bin chat a jin chi bin chat de na cha dil loy. Jol bin chat jol explain ku lel bin chat ki ti chane loy tin ga. Alu la have taken ngong my your concept whereby an jam ku lel yen Junumia based on the CPA ga Junuban anaka be a president of the South of the government of South Sudan. Or the chairman of the SPLM will be the president of the government of South Sudan. Alwelo ku yen ne Khartoum, ka Omar Bashir will be the president of Sudan, but will be deputized by the president by the vice president of the from the south, which is the chairman of the SPLM. Yolwelo can fulfill chimana de yen. Enan be ala jama ka ko Umar Bashiri, ku Umar Bashiri chi jama ka che. Lwelen ka ku bulorun ka da tamagan. An be ala jama ka ko Umar Bashir, bar Umar Bashir chen right be jama ka che. Na mi ajarun ka ba jala ti ko la Umar Bashir pe chi kur ba char ba yi. Na lo cha lo bud mia. Minan ker jala be tek ler kortum. Ku ker jala wil ku gora be ka bi warap. Ku ker jala juba ka ke chol the 12 major roads. Alwel kaba jala te Umar kula Umar doi ke yi within the next 6 years. Na chaka yi ke cher we mean now people of South Sudan are being chwer, and they will come back for the United Sudan, South Sudan or United Sudan. Alwel kuna chika lo na chika lo lobi a chicher ken chika lo but ke yong bin yar you go. A duk te de ne klon. Kuman bi ke duk te de ne ke te bi we duk te donan manatu yen you have automatically allow the people of the South to go their own way. The man was very clear in Meding, but sometimes being are very difficult to understand what is being communicated. Go ahead.
All right, okay. Interlate and thank you for kadang. Aguche, this is why we need kachirika. Because I jam ko be idea cha benal will have strategy tau. Kalo inge choko to be a doi kadang go strategy ange because sometimes when get cho jam theater tau. What's a
Mm.
credibility? But the strategic position of the movement, which you understand. Ke rebels ay ke chali. Chati ke cho your way binga bi go your way because ken ngade. Ku jonga go ba la ko your way ku ko ta to ke injustice ka tar.
A good man in Jam walk in Mading. People are not asking serious questions. Yen a good SPLM mantin ke ter ke korbel ke ter garang mabir ke. Kwache garang mabir SPLM. A word injustice. What was the injustice? Uh, Injustice mantino kuloko into debate and anka korbe ka jalbe anti SPLM ya teko. Not in a very violent way. Because in an inti ke agun ba mo ko mantino ko chati ku yo ke ti ku lelim ba hoy da. Ku in ba hoy ken. Ku an ti kwat. Ku jalbe na lo ku jel ti lo ben ba ku bi yo ini ni abur. Achen te nyu chen tin. Achen wong chiam. Ke yi ben ti ja mo india ka warin ka la tin ka an la ti ko. Ka warin ka la jam warin ka riong nom ke ko.
Chinga che wo ju buti je chinga che wo ju ta na ti.
Kwa chin ki chale wo apia ke ka ti che dinmet yin go ben ben ku dinmet alwel ke jabel ke cha taw yen ka to yin me anje me di yet, but that was not our mission. Our mission was that in ba ya kwan be are living a happy life. Now ke chi SPLM lwel ke a chi SPLM lwel 19 alwel SPLM ku lwel we are the alternative to the injustices that are being committed against the people of South. What were the injustices? The injustices were not just imprisonment, kujalanak. It was based on the concept that there were no hospitals. But in 1958, Arab Akuma Sudan will be arguing differently. In the 1940s and 1950s, Rumbek Secondary School was built by the northern government. Bor Intermediate was built by the northern government. Panakar was built by the northern government. Busari. And all these big concrete schools that you can see in South Sudan until now, They were built by the northern government. And our palace PLM Piopenyaman Kulula Bara. Nalo Nyidulia, Waria, police officers in the south. They were employed in Bor, Queen Bijora Bilar Wow, Kuloko Jatina Wow. They're in what Madani Kule Jor from there. Students Akaja when Rumbek Second School was closed in 1965. Students were taken to Khartoum to study in Khartoum. Policemen and ko chemanware utedwar ke to koko ke gala pie gatare koko ka pie dungula koko. Do we have that opportunity now? Kawaye South Sudanese? Can you just come and teach in my village? No. So word injustice, Akorbe understand as a word. Akorbe understand as a word chimana de yen. Injustice ache ladim by you yet by yin when I'm not getting the services. Take example, the concept that says that take town to people. Take town to people lebalo in the lebalo balangi take town to the village. Ebalo in the balo pan yi balo kulomen kulolo okay. Anchelo in one of the villages in Toy. Now chalo in one of the villages in the Toy. In logo teach kulolo okay. Take example inchelo tiet. In logo teach our people of tiet. Yang aga jam. Now logo in logo teach our people of tiet. Are people of tiet getting water? No. Are people of Bor getting water? No. Okay. Are people of Luanyang in different counties getting water? No. Okay. Injala duchen kubar. This is a check quarter. A check quarter. A check quarter. Go a check quarter. You don't need to be violent about it. This is where you come and ask now, Barbany. In Baintom Toinum, especially my member of parliament, parliament. What are you presenting on behalf of our village into the parliament? You cannot go and present what young no, or what one where young there is nothing like that. Work in our county. Do we have water? No. Okay. Do we have a hospital? No. Do we have a school? No. Do we have a drainage system? No. Are our kids going to university with the government scholarship? No. Okay. Kuwara kulting wara kulo war chakalwel bagabi kuwar chalwel babi yenako. That was the idea. Yene ke kilwela ka yegara mo bi lwel kulwela. SPLM will be a platform whereby ben wakati kulwela te war o kwon war chuka gam. O kwon war chuka gam ben ka bai la thor. Keko. Ka jalben kulwela o kwon war chuka gam or men dien war chila to. Badio ngo. Ka lwela ka badio pialo go in be go pialo ko pinyo bagel. So these are the moment people don't fight because we young people because jam bupol jam when na de ke jam violent even baran babara yo kolik ba branded ko le nga ya nyagat ko ya nyagat ku kelwel dadu yin kelwel akuch is saying what you are missing. Inchin you don't have water. Is he not saying anything good? He's saying something good. Oh ayenka lot nga yen ke ko ngade.
In challenge, Queen Ajak, Choi Brana committed because educate, because Choi stay aware of the of the current affairs, Kujala, the history of where we're coming from. I think you're doing a very good job. A good call in actually post call and chin maintain the go out then. I think Kujera go comment this is child abuse. Aja Aja toy Kuja jagat that look like identity do it. But at the end of the day, we need our cheetah ko le mete wing.
E
And thing
ton
I tell thon
Amaton.
cooking Ematon kunata uyen ran pio ke nyol ma de what I would then ko lo wir. A chelo this is a cow can cow kala to. Kala wir no. Because you know what wing ran one I have your pride and joy. Ke ran no wing do. That thing an yam do. Man mo wan ke jing wing do in ka itik do. That thing can I let's say for example kucharan gap yo yuen. You are pretty much saying that this is my pride and joy.
Yeah,
Or
and
that you're
Bramir
proud of your
Mading, just
culture.
keep talking, and Bramir and Kanba.
Okay.
Just keep talking.
Okay. Now, question then about this is regarding current affairs, geopolitics. Because at the end of the day, there's the geopolitics that is happening right now. The current atmosphere is changing rapidly. Go South Sudanese wo chita ko instead buku lo in straight and start developing the country. Ko what you do, what you regress. On one evidence is the currency. You could jog what. When South Sudan became a country, the currency was great. But the thing right now, the currency has degraded. That has shown that the decline is what has been happening. There's been no progress. Again, South Sudan akilu stay stable. We're koi ping. Now, Ken South Sudan kilu stable. Kilu stay stable. Jogo le kata hote day one. Be by bay. Kabuja choy South Sudan. To anta currency thing change to be entertainment. Currency will grow or will stabilize based on the production of the country, what the country is producing. What can we do? We're quite a pain. We're under keeping. What can we do to stabilize the country? Because at the end of the day, nanon could be quite banyaman I pay Kilwell Coach. That thing. Kilwell Coach. Any can be banyping. A little bit you could ignore for a while. But then I tell her, we will run a cat glowing a banner, I can bank it. Can a bet you go. I bet you go to the point where at the end of the day, they will have no choice but to make a move that will be for the benefit of the country. Considering the current geopolitics around the world, and also within Africa as well, of where the regions of Africa are positioning themselves, considering the Sahel, considering what Ruto is doing now, bringing in the foreign, Kukewa, our neighbor, bringing in the foreign armies, 7,000 of the French military special forces, Chiengkou welcome into Kenya, which is next door to Nawok. There are so many things that are going, but we are not part of it. We are on the menu, but we're not at the table. How can South Sudan improve economically and to become a player in geopolitics as well? Because now, we have no sort. We have no say, even in the regional small direct or East African community. Now, what people are talking about is how to refine South Sudanese crude oil. A lot done by the rest of African countries. When all we produce is oil, but we're not even talking about refining a different country. What do we do to ensure that the currency decline stops?
Guys, I'm back, Malay. And a killer day.
Okay. No worries. Welcome back.
Challenge jam pet.
Not to call you jam, but just trying to keep. But I will repeat my question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just laying a
guys,
foundation.
we young people, let's go back into English. That will be better.
Okay.
Well, let's mix it up. Yep.
Okay. All right. So, what I was talking about is, first allow me to lay the foundation of where my question is coming from. As South Sudanese, since the establishment of the country in 2011, the country has been declining. And the decline has been quite rapid in comparison to the decline of Uganda or whatever it is that was happening around the world. Around neighboring countries, for example. And one evidence of the decline is the currency. SSP. Okay. SSP has it's not gone up, and it has not stayed the same. It's declined. Which means the purchasing power of the pound now is worse. Okay, that one there is a little bit stabilized by policies that are brought about, which will then bring about the production of the country, just in the production of whatever is being produced in the country to be like that. Okay, how do we make sure that we stabilize the currency? Because you know what,
Mhm.
these are people that have nothing to eat, and if poverty is rampant in the country, how can we ensure that this gets to be stopped? One is economy. Okay, how do we fix the economy to ensure that this decline of the pound or of the economy is stabilized, if not improved?
Mm.
The thing. One thing as well, another question that I was also asking is, what do we do, or who are we in relation to the geopolitics that's happening around within Africa, and the regional politics
And
and
and and
geopolitics as
and
well.
geopolitics.
Regional politics and geopolitics.
Uh,
One interlude mentioned within the East African community. Koi kwa ka job da jaman de kadang to propose one. Ma de the South Sudanese kadang oil, crude oil. Akwa biting build something benina lo refine, but that was brought about externally. The thing. Okay, what are we doing about that? Okay, and who are we geopolitically or regionally? Because at the end of the day, Kichuti now, Kenya just brought in Ruto, just brought in French special forces. It's inviting all of these people coming now into Kenya. What does that look to us as South Sudanese? On the menu. Who get 2026? But what on the menu instead of being at the table? Very vulnerable. Will carve up. Africa carve up in the Berlin conference. What can we do now? South Sudanese talk man go die. Let's say, for example, around the world. Because I know when I was in South Sudan, BBC World Service did an overtime on me. And the bear pie one chan bena but you're betting man, you know what? This programming too much. Because I'm helping the news. That thing. Ten bank link. But when I got outside here, I realized that was a big, massive weapon. That thing. What do we do, guys, South Sudanese, to ensure that our country improves?
yeah,
Economically,
yeah,
regionally, and in other ways, in politics, all overall.
yeah, Mading. Mading, first of all,
Mhm.
thank you so much. There is a question that I will not answer because of the not because that I have no answers. Kere economy about avoid a bit. The reason why I will avoid that is a very interesting question, because if you remember in 2011 we had one of the African strongest money, and that was the South Sudanese pound. And what changed? Rajal Ben below later. Ke karban jam ke one major things that I need to appreciate you for bringing it up. A example of Berlin. If I tell you that nobody is thinking the way you are thinking, and let me even make it worse than you have put it. You have talked of geopolitics and regional politics. And it's South Sudanese that is very wise and very open-minded will be worried the future of South Sudan as a nation. This is not about Kir or anything, but our existence as a country. It was easy to announce that South Sudan is an independent state. One of the easiest things is to announce that you are an independent state. But if you don't know, are you independent from what? It will be another complication. In the 1970s, we know it were in the mentioned the explorers of our oil are the French. Kwachina kukul pia the French, pan chi French en Latin, nanga pia chi luoyen. War a time bomb, kapanda talk a time bomb, and this somebody must listen to this carefully. We are a landlocked society with a very, very complicated borders. Whether we agree inside or don't agree with ourselves, we are going to be faced by problems. We think that if you go back to the history 19, Runa Kenyatta, South Sudanese on Chiban Kachilo in Dolgu Bibia seeking refuge in Kenya, aka be deported back to Sudan. Go on, South Sudanese on. So it is a matter of time and politics can change. In Uganda, politics can change in Congo, politics can change in Kenya. In Kenya, chairman issue now one an issue of a limit triangle, Kuki-Base, Nakodok, Nakodok and limit triangle, which allow the Lodulia Mountains. Now, Loria, Kadenman Jam one yin, if you look at the map closely, Moe Sukun, southern part of New Kuch, the middle of Lotuke, and the southern part of the Kidipo ranges, Nanglo Post, they are identified as Uganda. Now, Loben to Pochala, the eastern bank of Kobo River is identified as Ethiopia. So any Anuak family, two families are divided into two. You go to Kobo, the same situation, you go to Joko. And then if you go further down to Maban, then you are next to Bechangul on the Blue Nile area, which is another geopolitical problem with the Ethiopian dam and Egypt. Aloben ki ilo mile 14, bit from Maban top to Upper Nile, Yenom Nial, going down to Kiradam. We have about over 1,000 kilometers border that is not demarcated until now. What are the chances that Nalo Sudan Lotong Dele coach? Those who are fighting us, those who are fighting themselves now, they can be united by the issue of Abia Iglich and the mile 14. That is another problem. You go to the western part of Central African Republic and chat in a bit at the Tienwintoko walk. We have a problem there. Now, Lord Panechol Morobo. Morobo is now divided into two. One side is considered Congo, and that was built. It was built as a Calicos town, a Sudanese town. Now, jalo kui palipio pengujal kalwelko weda SPLM kujala all the lwelo political differences. Kujal kati kulwela how much do you love South Sudan? Stop the issue of the money, but how much do you love South Sudan? Take example, our generation now, I'm 45, 46. I will not live within the next 40 years unless if I'm lucky. I would be gone. My children now don't have the knowledge that I have about South Sudan. They don't. So if somebody is going to tell them that, Ian, Lotuke is my home, and even though the map has not been legalized, which is the territorial map of South Sudan, we have geopolitical problems. Barela Bene Kudun in there. South Sudan is a home now to gold, home to oil, home to a vast agricultural land. There is a question that we are not asking. Who owned this big building in Juba? Who owned them? Big hotels. Are they owned by South Sudanese? No. If they are not owned by South Sudanese and they are owned by investors, What do you do to an investor that have no laws that is Luyen guided? Aben man by ben mading oben mi Joseph oben ku Victor oben ku jala deng abela ben ku now we need our country. You are a poor man that need your rights. You are just a poor man that need your rights. We have just created another Lebanon within the center of Africa. Your own cousin Abiyen Chiengkou to Moyinometap, you will be fighting yourself. And the political and the interest group lead. These are not conspiracies. These are realities. What you are arguing now, the interest group will be powerful. Why? Because South Sudan mantina we don't know yongoto izo because izo kene umbazi ku dabi ku maridi mare ku yambio I bordering Congo. Chances of us having minerals to Congo are total. I cobbles. Now ran chilo in Dolmia because now we're saying, oh, wajiang water in a dry land. We may have oil, but the resources, agricultural land or can yambio. What are the chances that the politics of the 1920s until Bor was part of the Lado enclave, which was part of Congo. The Lado enclave include Juba. Juba was founded in 1920 as part of the Lado enclave. It was not South Sudan. With bad politics, what are the chances? The same politics will come back again, and they were played in 1983. So when it comes to kaya kane chake yani leji madingu yani dai tem tok, ba ya kino koi ka piot pal pen kubo koi ping. South Sudanese are not ready to listen to what is a nation. People are with the individual interests. So in it is more, that's why it is better now and promoting young nationalism or Nuer nationalism or Equatorial nationalism. That person is more likely to be heard than a person that is calling for the love of the nation. And civilization that have existed for the last 7,000 years and 5,000 years. Because they have identified, we are not yet a united civilization. Manatu, we need a lot of civic education about what a nation is. Naping giang man ka diarke bar twitch is ka bar bor kalor warap nga ka yu ka a nation. Ay yu war ka nga ket piu ka kutoinde kungode. These are nationalities. And for these nationalities to exist in one nation, they must be taught the concept of nationhood. What make a nation? What make a nation is that you must have your geography. Your geography must be there. You must have all your coordinates as a legal map within your own territories. We have, yes, we are an independent society. We have 79 counties. Can you produce a map of 79 counties, legal maps, that the Parliament of South Sudan have set down, endorse that the map? Gerrymandering. Now, Manatu Panichol South Sudan took a venerable society. Eklan bilo indolmia yenekani chien miao. Ku yenekani chien gruch. Ku korbi diare lor. Ku laukene ku tiag diarke. And we go into Somali. Na chiba ding nanka ke oka chibikta nanka ke kachi Joseph nanka ke kalar ku teku ke. That will take another 30 years after we are dead. Na mia ka webinanga kukul. So kito manti ini ke koche ke. Aye ko achiran korbran ping. Even we now we become more with the idea chamane ka ne lwel ka kujal ka piot palping lwel piange me ka ran lwel ran tine ke piange ke yi garanga ka mit so ko lo rate ke ko cha dai ke chok e chung no mo people are looking into their toe, but they are not looking. So this idea that we have a nation is a concept that is being promoted by individuals who don't even understand what is a nation. And when they realize that they are not getting their way, take example, they are not going to politics, they are not going to the status that they want, they will come back. And I will come and promote Bor. Why? Because I will be visible there. Na chi Bor ban la chi toy ba den, and chi ban la cho Bor, I will come and promote my clan. In ka yegara mo bi lwelo ko ka lo ka ben nga ka ting de lo ka ye ben la ting de ben la yo ku lwelo man ka chi ting de chal ku man na cha chal. Such a hatred will never stop. So until Buwapiot Palpin Jam and Jam walk, we don't yell at each other. We have a conversation. We learn from each other. That until we listen to each other, that in the walk, we will learn. We will have the strategy. We will correct those who are playing with our nation. And those who are playing with our nation, they are not only politicians, even an informed youth. Ran no jalo ndolo wa jeng ko nuer ko kana na jalo ti ko le bara you as a young boy, as a young man, lor ku lo ni do le ka de nyo pin, sit down, just sit down. Take example, you get somebody in white army and sit down with them, ask them, since 1983, how many people have you lost in your family? Oh, 5, 10. Okay. Have they been compensated by anybody? No. Okay. How many children in your house went to school? Okay, none. Okay, 20 years from now, there are kids that are going to school in the refugee camp. There are kids that are going to school in Juba. Even though you think that you are a hero of your village, you are going to be enslaved by the son of a person that you are fighting now. So stop that. Put your gun down. Go to school. So that your child cannot become a victim of the next society. Who is ready to support that? South Sudanese don't want civic education. We assume we know everything. So, what you ask, legitimate questions, real concern, but in a bigger thing.
Okay. What
Capital. Thank you, Joseph. I'm about to finish, brother. Thank you so much. I'll ask my last question. Kubajo lo down kadang, bajo lo down kubajo lo ping, but I'm betul. So thank you so much. If you can allow me this kadang, but last one kadang, but my last comment by that will. Intelligent by Jack. To conclude, a little bit of my kadang about matter. You know, people like Dr. John Garang, Koichi Garang Anyet, Koichi Dinwara back. You know, many people that have now gone. Aga diet cake.
Yes.
A coach.
Yes.
Kaka Louis raised, they were, you know, raised by a coach. Kukachi necessity, I take a benial. That thing bigger bengy man, you know what? A paid man who chan cake, I can teach man, let's say, for example, Dr. John Garanga a child dictator. He didn't have to come back to South Sudan to Chiengkou. He could have lived his life better somewhere else.
Yeah.
In the West, he could have lived there,
He
could just
was
focus
even
on his
told
family and his children.
you are not going to do it. Don't go. Doctor, they were here. Raneto Syracuse, Kuraneto Iowa, and then he was told,
There
don't
you
go.
go.
Well, no.
So thank you very much. Koi ka ka dit ke kumuke. Koi ko ki wo koi pirman wo koi dit mi man. Ka koi ka muk ke koi ka lui ke race. Ku chok ya nya panden beran be panden na nya karan could have had a better life somewhere else. Ku beran be the background for the rest of others. The thing. They could have had better lives. The thing. But then they did that. Necessity brought them about, brought them to be. The thing. Okay, they loved their people and the country so much beyond. Garama bi wana beyond one town loboni ko lan towen. Ado loboni. The thing. Nyindi ka ma de ngani duwara ta tinga nagrat. Era andang lom ku moy no ke moy ndo ka che jam to jing. Ati a chole ta ka tinga nakrut. Era nga je man che garam abiu to South
Mm,
Sudan or Sudan teriak. There's no hope anymore. Kunakra road.
you're right.
Ati I witnessed it with my own eyes and I was 14 years old. Ati okay. That the balo what does it take?
Aye dai di te lwe la ige tiang de jan
Uh-huh.
eto tia ke chan walk aye dai di chan ba wedu mar e dai di te door.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Alwe le nyalik alwe le Arabi juban ka ja which I had the video alwe le nyalik alwe a bay mobile church where Dr. John Garang prayers was being held. I was there.
Hmm.
How in ka well where my witness was Deng Make Deng Malo watch out what Deng Make now in ka jolo ku ya rab le war pir garang e yoku e chiko wana wanyen. Apia the ne le jik go ko ye ke ye jam ku le ke nong nyin ken go ka jal ben chor ba ka chor pio. Why did you kill this man? It was a bad day. Kiana bad day and it has proven itself. Ran ko bu mu pio don e man die pin chol ma biur garang ma biur. Na wer ke lwel ko ka ken ko ju pin. Ana kwa cha lwel ni aten. Aye ma biur lwel la ma ding. A lwel do ka diaw. Karang di gang malwal ken lo sukule. Ko jala ma biur atmaro. Apia na jal ko dung we ran di jal diaw jubatana. What will make you not to produce another garang?
Mm-hmm.
Ato ke society ko ka to mantin ku kichiri yer runi garang ke kana runi mading ku yibikta ku ja Joseph ke pyanga ke kichiri yer rundo na ku ye ku jala runda and part of you an jal bandiro we na pa lingin penyaman Joseph when mading, how many of our generation believe that some of the age might know anything? What thong ni machagang wem sometime and I ni ben watch.
Ai jai kalam.
And we mind in Ben Woy, so now the Palinian Penyaman. Take example, and I'll give you one example. Some of us who grew up during the SPL, I was a very, very, very curious teenager. Kaya ka juire tin ko ka ka witness. And kilo and chipioche jajamar lekin and kilo jaji, but I was always attending rallies because I chin chance I never thought that I will make it to the university. Gwalwela, the only way I will learn it through people. So I will meet elders and I will ask questions. My first question is tankir mayadi 1995, 96, 95. Panachol New Kuch. And again on the 6th of February, I remember very well. 6th of February 1996. I was a teenager, but very inquisitive kid. Why? Because I just went to learn. I was motivated by them. Now na bar ku jama man tin jam wo ka kalwela yen ran jama to jenga ran apparently wo gwela to ngala ngali to ko lu ka mix ka lwela chi ira dan war chala jama to jeng ki tiata nya so yeah tiata nya so we are struggling now to prove ourselves that I am capable of doing something. Yen in struggling to prove yourself within your generation, to be allowed to say what you witnessed. Chemane ne na lume ne kulelo ko kulonyi dul, that is the case in the local language monya choli o ko mojanum. Ekeneke ke chole love of a nation. Ku monya choli yong den jala marke ne monya ulian. But yep yo tie chilom ko monya ulian ware alwele that monya ulian anang my interest in him. Yen ran jam yen ka ran men ku jam ku le pin yong che garang ran pin chola mo ku yong joran kwa nya gar yong pin garang ma bira bo ka je loide go Ko garan go yo ke garan ati olom go lol ku yongo kwa nyara ran cho ke ya ku lere ya go jal dol. Garan yo ku lol yi na chi gwandu yire ke cho gwandu yire ke kumya next time gwandu na ba chienga ba koitar te chin pir. That's why you know we were, and that idea man it need us to come to that extent, to that level. Because pure nationhood. Nationhood very simple. Very simple. Anti example government a big tartan, very simple. Just love others. I was in Juba where Channel South Sudan, and I appreciate everybody that I met in Juba. I was moving around. Angela Pane chal pare angwala kulom pigi border kukar. Take la I was at home. I went to Yerul. I was at home. Area kunalo ni dulke in a journalist. Uh, oh, what was that? What have they detected, Tita? We have detected inactivity. No, I am active. What inactivity now? Okay.
We ko to pe nya go da ya lo lo ke tap. A ta ko lo tap
I'm
ke
actually
dit
Tap
no
chip.
be
tapping.
no ta.
Okay,
Quite a thing,
tap
they're
that.
not tapping.
Yen ga chel wele
Ta ko lo
Yeah, I'm
lo tap.
tapping.
Look at tap that. So I can okay. That's why okay. Okay, that's why. So lot doing that I think tapping look at tap that. Oh, chel wele yen
I
no
was tapping
inactivity.
actually. So,
Lot doing so lot doing.
do you have another device? Are you viewing it on another device?
I'm doing it on a computer, but I have another device. I
Okay.
Yeah,
until
ke le
go
ben
live
ke le
before.
ben tin ke view aya ku ja la ko lo tap pe ni
Yeah,
tan.
look at that
Okay,
on the other
okay,
side.
okay. Oh, what's up
Madam,
with
is the one?
it then?
Okay, and you can anang don din yuj baluit na you
Okay,
can.
Kalati you do I.
Lot of Joseph.
Okay, Joseph, go ahead.
Lano we wat ka lano kichi mading lelun tari lano and what thing am it awog kaya lefen awog yan which we call we at the morning time of the South Sudan.
We got the warga 2000.
Yeah, lakin kuratin kin ko right now yan kachu well to kastan ko loyen kadang ki koy o ka ki lu rektis ka koy kwan war ke ka ngabi og be lano bugurun mat ke chok o wai nyu ku yan wi ran lang fikra ro no well lang ka fikra ya nen ki tingo ba chi o gar fin gana adi lakin belzat o kastan o go civilization right on Sudan 1000 years o ka chiran ko ngo wij ben kan bangi ran wi yo ga liyo dil ba o ga man shadid ka lang da men okten
Who are
Sudan
you
man
young
o
young while I was Sudanese?
o jeng za to o za
Yeah,
o ko lang
okay.
nimba
Now, Marine La Ben when I pay now. Yeah, young a nation de. You are now inviting another. Yeah, young a nation. You were man a day. Oh, where part of the nation.
ai ma wo wa chu ji lo ka wo gri be rai la ka wo mug
Young
nation
Akacho
ko
Wiki.
kwen kan ko kan gara ke ko za daga sitta ka am gabila ka acho wik ba
You
yu
got
ji
a
right
jog
now
run
ah kana ratin man badre che matin
Gamma example Chilo in this is 2000.
yeah it's not in this 2000 alone at the 19 that is
No way.
already
In Jamala walking will cook a Sudanese nationhood. In jam gain a
yeah
jam in ticket in a chan bo at a political very better way.
hmm.
Iran Yaman go in Kinum Kuruno.
Our civilization why choptin ko nafsal man ko we go to waiting
You mean you mean we jang wala sa Sudanese?
we South Sudanese
Okay, then in correct.
Ajak, so the call we request paint and I think we're gonna.
Okay. Hey, lotting guy. Lotting you correct.
there
Lotting.
en kinen ki cholo lano bugnim chen trick wajal gerchel لو بينون بين وي ولورك في نفوسنا
آه.
يبقى في دول مجور معنا زادو يعني الو يكش بين في الاراضينا كوكا وايل عن مشكله انت ركنت اجاين كوديروت او
Mm.
بين لوجاز كي برو بين ين فورتك كوتين كوتوارن بي وغويتين as Sudan right now we can o warel ka Sudan ko golo warel be ngudi be peace ko che waren peace chu look aka kwa nok diman kadi lakin aswa atriga tiyo ke en liulanu wo ware mashkuliya di ketir lanu
Inta wena sa rere no.
yan ana rafi libya asaliya
O into kwezi.
nafsi la nafsi khaya jurdan tar garadi
We lekin we pol yal ko gubu men.
wa falgu be
Itu kamina jweka pa.
o
Eh.
waji je mo jiga ji fe
Yala al machakil on yen ko dom ku mi de jal ya. Mi ko ne we te me men ke lo Europe machine ko isi ko lo pot.
wallahi ya bega lo ko koy bega idam bu ko du ko ala bade ga be yan lu ya wil biglo
Lekin pir ka chin ko to ko chin ko nang kra yo ke mu.
la la ran che libya tan long tin kin kin be nok nan akina sara kan en ngor ngodin sara kan ya jirima
Sara ka na ke yig jal no yig jal fi Sudan wala yig la jal fi Misr.
ajal fi sudan ku bat trik dat ka jal fi mosr trik dat ajal fi shat
Da be chilom kam yom min na.
sara kulu aya saba yom aya arbat kunele ka chol cruisal ka nafse biet ka lo tigriban hin ka dia ka tan bada fi get ko ke da langi to ko jong ding
Yig piu yo no wara chu ting war kan ko ju chi to ke la yal yig yal ku do yig na chiran to men ke ber wa ke tie ko la yo wa na ya.
ye ka pier liya di tinte ni la biya wek tia ku dun wek mi da kuna wan chat ke ken
Apiat ko yong ya la ko re ti man ye baben do liro wala ye yong.
wala ke wala tin dane wek ku jana trik euro fa ya ne de ko tin da tin da
Ku tu ga tin ya ke chamano tu ga tin ke.
wala ke ku jalo va yam ti ki te lenga we kun mu ka ki cham ka ye ke ku mo ke
Ajak ko ya te pe tan ba ko ba ko lu
Okay.
request.
Yen ka pot ka yen ka pot ka ki di de poi look after yourself. Yen ke mo main thing ba gu pial. Yen ke am our main thing. We ko especially we ko won chila Moser. Look at yourself. En ngade ko won chila de Libya because an muzakar fi nas on na chaka ti to. Lakin piu ka do ka piu yote dolo uroba ya be ni be nas fi nas ani nas ko kon jiban nan ko ke pi rapot. Lakini nan ko nang difficulty pa na ka waja chi thong ken akor ba mi da jonyi ya na che shu te le ke tin ke yen ba e chi thong ken pan do na chi thong ken pan le pan do na chi thong pan le cha ka ti chang tiop ye ke yen we mi ti war pe ke di der won ke lekin wo ko war wo during the SPLA wo ka re wo chin tar jan ko chin chu war ko chin bit wo chi bi chok ko chin lekin here we are now so look after yourself dok ale ka ye jeng lol ku le pan le ale so you are looking after yourself right ya ga rodwer etong po to man we ka bla junu bin pe na ya ga rodwer ba du la chen kwat ya ga
ya rai
na no ga chem nga ke ta ka a good ba dul don ba yo kiran gu pel gop chi la chan ya ka en ka so yen ka in chale yenga ne kor binang ka ti
shukran
I draw finger.
Ajak
Big
ja
Mac.
quiet fai.
Big ta inji biara red bara. Dani wong eh dani wong la nya mama panen bara. By the way,
Trying to use my little
just don't
brother's
reveal
phone.
to people. People know about but people know about red card. Where brother to artist red card.
Ajak before bro do
Bara
to
man
before
the
do
red
long
card.
Victor
Yo windy again.
before bro
Bara
no Victor
What thing?
Victor before you come up
Chibo.
ke question that she Joseph which teach. I think Joseph no that's the mindset of many people right now is that you know what a woman cake. The thing. But can ke joy man ke beto. Chin the lane thing. Now way as long as tribalism is there in the
Mm.
negative way,
Yes.
then the way quite a way leading naman let's say for example kurandun let's say kuleman kulele mamon madi ine ka
Mm.
ben ke president of South Sudan. Kachaka jeng di in the majority of South Sudan ne ka lele wo young madi ke tomorrow. That one is
Mm.
always going to be there. That thing. But kila at the same time, I think ke joy wo ko ke wo to lui focus on you know what era anda ka beto. Ko le
Mm-hmm.
era ane beto. But ke chi no for example, you know, na jaga tingara na chi South Sudan na chi lo rejected for example Riek Machar. South Sudanese have rejected him because of this and because of the clinic of this one. Kulwen were ko ko bai lo non ke bring somebody. The same
No.
thing ke jinga. Na lo kulala you know what Kidi the Chilu failed has failed the country. Instead, now instead of trying to put our best foot forward, a little behind the back, but then there's no progress. It's a problem. You know what? Okay, since this is not working and this is not working, tingu dying nearby. Back to what I was saying before. Garama bi radi ko. Adi ran ma unche wonde lo ko le ka di ran kere tukul. Kuna we ko iga. Tati. God you go wa na ka dit our fathers didn't make it out of the war. Ku ok human. But you know what? I don't ko near ran ka bai. Ko bisa Sudan menang progress. Ku be twain jo ting man tiga le bito ba yang ka dit twain na e wes ne ka chi ko ina chating abulu be dit tin ku je go lu rana ro blood transfusion about ken ade chene jo go miet go ku pi
Mm.
well le be ka dang antibiotics about ra no to man because of can be antibiotic below fix chating all these things have been I been progress have been from ran nearby.
And
Wo
lakin
ko ji na lo at the
madinga.
same time if we're talking about tribalism, if we're talking about tribalism, we can and wo man ke
Mm.
instead buka we defend on okay wo man ke so now we have to do this, we have to retaliate in this one and we have to retaliate in this way. You could respond ko nearby.
Mm-hmm.
Respond from a place of love. Man, you know what? Jing a chain man work. Work watching a man cake. Come around, but man, a good moinder diao, or moino diao, or Angelo rebel. Come man, poverty. Poverty ka bitala into crew, in a bitala chuer.
Mm.
Tending, poverty ka bitala randang too. Poverty a bitangulo, ku poverty ka no coin neke, Chatting, but I could look you know what ko en ni South Sudan ga nya ku nya ku panda. Ka you could put forward a chem naturally jenga lu attack, jenga na walk. Chatting o jenga young by. Ko bu response from a place of hatred. Buka ngi ma de you know what kira kin ba mon jeng. As soon turn it down to that position a kin ba mon jeng. Don't respond ga lu jenga young walk. Ye lu kira che mon jeng. Kira mon South Sudan. Akana lu kira nya ka bunya because of his incompetencies.
Wachi
Well, really
nyanja
kid
because
about
of jam.
because of competencies ke. Chatting, but you could be a little respond, a little jingle yoko yoku jai. Chanaman and jingu me. A good paniki and ko chicken and low highlight one man de paniki a hill go hill. Kira to low fail. And then quite South Sudanese jamake quite to government that or quite okay quite opposition.
Yeah.
Man de paniki ki could take a
Madinga.
paniki.
Madinga.
So please go ahead.
Yeah, you better talk about loy nang this idea nang idea when you do lu disagree with them. Anchila chadwar bai kwan jadai. War chan dai nang tung cha oi. Nang kaya luela yes. Pana kawaja tina man if you realize ka banyin na kaya rantung ka wane policies ay ka loy. The kin ko muk bai tina kaya ping it's all public service. Public service within the government. In ka muk bai. Guna lo ni dolwar ka county ku ya yiyo man being pan United States ka California nang a very strong economy than the United States government. In get and balo New York.
And about New York.
Yeah, korba lwele
Yeah.
we are playing a collective role che mane wer ni jam wo man ke uh, ideology ye ko created to create more chaos lakini a lor ku palin yin penya gurman tin, let's be honest. Ti cha wo ko war ku cha kir jal man ko la. Ko chi changing the way they do things. Tinga man ba bae ke kriyo bae ke tong kriyo bae ke wato ko chentin. Ni banye ke no lo ku ran ge pinga chom sin 2005. All the general ke cho kuma, do you know that they still receive their salary? Are you aware of that? Like,
Ko ju da do lu ke dang receive ka here in Australia here.
okay.
They've never
Now,
been back for 10 years. Ka
starting,
ko ko lu
okay.
me
Oh,
receive.
you are right. Anong ko an ran rer war an jalti ran rer Australia run ko yin ke ko la Australia tanga na war kala yo kanang do. Wo ti cha
Exactly.
pia
Yeah.
die kiri yo
Exactly.
bai ka yin man ko le yong. Wa yong do bor ku kwet.
Very good question.
To yong do bor ku kwet. Yong pia na mi ka yim lo indo lo ku nyo che men ran men tar men ma tianga nyor to tong war. Ka dia ke cheng do bor ka cheng chirit ke dia. Yin in blog in cheng do bor ka di datam. Lo ku te yin. What do you know about South Sudan? Go in state be na bere pe go le na. Aku da chaka yin man nye yin ku lo ni dol ku lo ti do bor ku ka yin. Ko la ka yung cha jal tin. What have I done?
Can you imagine?
Yung batting ran eri wo ga to lu wo to one organization a South African Holistic Social Service e mo tin na le ka lo yo do bor. A jagan je pio e ka yin ngo. Ye kar yen ga dida. Da kin kat en man tin chaka man an dir lo ran che je cha be lo. An che je I cannot do it. An lo ba ya very good thing ka benang ka ta la kin je je. So ka ya kor ba le. We are contributing to the downfall ko wo ko na bere lo wo ya pa lo ko yugran ku chita ku ne commissioner ku jago wo ya kuma federal authority change behavior ba ma ding man ke behavior pal ki diti ni ki cho SPLA to war on into lobo ni na lo la chi cha jo ta in soscom tri la ta ta in kin ki ja jore cho soscom on in ta in je kan cha lo ha cha kan jor
No, can get by the time I got that thing at the back. Kitchen can work a
okay
poor
nang
boy
ta
right.
in okay
So got
nang
you
ta
a
in ye
can
jor SPLA nang ta in ye tian. It was a collective responsibility of the civilian and people.
Oh,
Career
Tangana Tomuga, Anatomuga, Ligan.
huh?
To an lumber, yon Joriel, could you let go?
Aiwa.
All of those quite and
Yen ka
everything. I was
karibra
there.
loy ka. Yen we are kichira loy pani Junuba Sudan. Anang tingman kero loy rara kaban anang majority of my colleague. Ache my colleague abay mading. Kaya go na ye rana we ka ye ping on 213. 213, 214, 215. Kidi don kaya go che lupu kiro post. Alo ko ka chi kira chi wo kira ka riok bai. Na war ka bi jor kir ma yadit ke ko tew ke uzi. Na lar ko karan chok balati cha kar balati yaw yin chi kir bi ta war ke ina ban. Yong cha lo lo ku nya ja jam radio kana. Na lar ko kar baran la ti ko la bara yong cha lo lo. Do you know what they do? Are api ad ku ke ka ke yu jam ke ka ke yu kiro na kira wo je kri ban. Now I get an opportunity. Some of them have been
Ajak,
missing for 3 years. Yong chi
Ajak,
uh,
Ajak,
uh,
Ajak den jongo.
Victor.
Around
Ajak,
Okay, I draw. Hang on.
the Taroko.
Okay.
Ajak,
Uh,
ya, Malaysian ci jam dunin trafficking langa ka ba tej ba jam.
okay, chira. Ye inga.
Especially nan chol John Grang.
Okay, garang dal jam. Don't know.
Okay. Anta juba.
Okay, in chamot. Look after yourself. Take you do.
In the mod kudwal.
In chamot. Take
An
you
bi
do
tej
good.
kan karo.
Uh,
An tej kan karo tin ge yen tok.
mm,
An tej ke journalist chin nyin de na ye rasa jumuria ka lang sandung ti ne to pin bi sharp de lang nam fikra an nation.
uh,
Borak da god ku chwetin.
mm,
E one of the chola na jam live dukata.
mm,
Because in journalist kabir in deserve that to be in roll sharp instead of being sharp pal jam be sharp that be la man and the la jiri ma che deserve yo awe
eh
ga to ko pal we
wa chi ko pal we okay
because I was a roll tin sharp we be that ki chol journalist
eh
man cho ko pe TikTok Facebook be na we ga che tung dun pal to pin ke yen ka ba ti ki na ja
mm
to ko ich ban junub Sudan war ci cha din che da non lol ke
mm
na ngo chatting nyandu ke ken deserve ko ba example jog ba loy wala ko ba ben lek sha ku big loy wala ba ti yu ku mi ra wa chin yandu be junub Sudan
mhm
ko ba lek na yin ke jan li za jak ke changen kin deserve bu loy ka la o junub Sudan wala o sha
ki cha tinga yan
ke chatting yin
ki cha ting war ki cha la tinga ke aba ki cha tinga nan kan ka ro ki cha ting to nan ko ko chi ka cho ban cho ye korap
okay ato kan chon ben la ken roi
mm
a ken ro ke tin tiok mun tin jam wetin asa masalan a jak the jo in lo go in lon jo in wa ku to pin over 2 million 3 million thousand dollar bin
mm
lo go ke
mm
ku jo lo la yo do you think anin chi la ba chwer ka dai chu wa ku los bin lo go kuna yin ban chan yok no chan chan lo bi in ba ya lo wala lo bin ko jal pu eto kana ke ro in to na ja
in pia
Ero, what can you talk to the act?
in pia
ya ke ja ke jal to na chi music ba lo
ida ba
cho đi đi cái bên trước ya
ota
lo
ba
miet
cha
ya
cha
man mo tiang nyore nywer nyal ba pin ka pa
okay a jak de
jam Joseph
ya ke dia ki ne ja o ke de men la bu ka ja lui cái đó te jo en to sham nam ku to minister nam ku to general ni rana lo kor angi ja wet bro da puk che wet bu bai ben lo ke den to en nam wala tap chi en tap ku ye ngi jen di chen lo la yo ke ne a in the last chan wala in the first chan chen bu ben yok londa che ngot ko bu ben yok londa
eh
wala che ngi lu ye di a chan bu ben yok recommendation per ye de twen
eh
di chen yok lo chi men ngi tai ben ra hospital am tong ni o ka
eh
ja jutin na bu lu ya kol intimal bu war nya it have to work hard blank yok in case bu ben war nya bu lo chi yo in the ato cham nam ga ben wala ato ke di chol junub Sudan nam ke
eh
e yok e o ya di en no le bu ka ja lu ka da le pan gen
no in cha Joseph
eh ke ke
in che ka ju lel ka a che ka dugrot ke an jama ka che ka dugrot ke
eh
ke a che ka dugrot ki chi ke ro du
in cho ka temporal jam so bu jam ko ni ran nyin kir me live gen ko den
Kala lor
eh
tul ke
okay cái tin ban ne tol chong wala chan ba jam chi jo ko da ya ju
mm
ok ben o ga chi wo panda
mm
you go land and the jola get over 33 yes kuchin ke cha coin bai wala chin ke attack bu ayu ba coin bai ya wi dir ki ren coin bai ya
mhm
wi dir yang ma cha ren coin bai
mhm
ma ke anda to I feel wala yan no man lang and lang can support bangi jana na ke cha wo
mm
because I deserve to give an example ma ke tin loy ba jala ngo dira bi ban coin gala wala dira bi ja coin gala wala yan ba jala ngot ke lang ke cha jok chuk bien coin lakini ajal jok zero flat chin ke cha jok ku jal ngot dira coin sẽ lặng mà cái coin wala cho gan yen cái lôi cái lêu cái đó cái chính cái job
eh
that one is not fair yen
ye
cái
Joseph
cái bele sharp ha
eh
này a chia sa bu ko yok ben media wala bu ko ron man ke
mhm
sharp junub Sudan
yeah
de ki yo gen tak ku buru chok wala ku buga gum tiel bi zrup kwan pandan bi tok ke che se fol bugron man ngot ku wala tin ku dal bi oga ter chi ogron man gen buk tol gada ke o che kiren loyen che riak loyen ku che ngaden be lo ke yen ke yin pangan tani na ja
in ping ko
aka
in ping ko
yin go ban go yin
in
ka be ping
in
ya
ping are
ya wi balela
ir ka chan ko ba interrupted in ping
ya wi balela
eh
yin nom ke ya ja kan karo aka ba to nin tok ba tor shidid bu kuma yin ore ya ba ya jam rol sharp wala ba ya jam ken sharp
mm
ke lon du lon ja kuen go ni jin ken ro ben tem balonda che journalist ba ben martin ke ti chite ni jin ye wise enough wala in lang capability la bin londa ben mat journalist chok ku bin chap junub sudan ben lang ka konke
thank you
not to focus on journalism only because
okay
the chite ni ngom do wala te ni jiro din le balang loy ko mat kitin kan ka diak ngwan in mean that you serve the nation wala in lang le ba kon ba
thank you so much that mean a lot
last advice ni na ko bro dog by dog chen bin mana jam ba chele wo bena tingang nyandu ba bin jal jam after that people can understand or they can follow you.
thank you so much
Mm.
ye Joseph will go achiro ber ke lwela ke inchi jam one thing that kachaka mention in there where ya dollar ke where ne ye lol ku lele na ja lo londu kor ku jal jal kor cho ku guru ku ame jala ye kin ke yin chiro chut ke yin chiro puk you have actually diagnosed the problem and who problem kir ke jamon ku an ke yo gran ku ke problem le problem lu by face and ko winji wer pet ban lo kuna ken ku chok kila ke yani le ke wer dun chalu le na ken ku chok I was shocked yen ken yom jima te chen banin Joseph all the work the building material I Somalin ka I ken Somali konya ne la juba 2004 by the way first time in kelara and juba ke jalaba tatin dingi ga yo ke ke piat tu ke nye ke 2004 acha ka bana yo ke dia ke ka in the middle of konya kwa Somali ne ka tatin echa ti yo ne ko la we ken gana che ke kor kir ke kor city council the same thing bor the same thing all over so the best thing ke ba ni jinu konya buru kony kutonga ke ne nang wer ne lo la buru man nang kiro lo on te na yu ko chi chok ko chi chok ranon lo indol ku ler ku ye pan man kor binok because the pan man I think ke ye dol ni ka war laran ba an chiri ay la yo ke di cha ye ta guti wara ba guti awul lekin ba ko mon jang jaga la yo war chan ke chat ku ber jeng lo ku le ran jeng na ke chema man ga lo no ba ko mon jang ku ba ko no er ku ba ka nga ran ang ke chema ran ang chin ke chem lekin ran chok cái trên cái trên giang chăm bài cái trên cái năng definition pia dia no lo ko le yen akuma ko diang che cái nim ko ku chiro pin ku ka ni ru ka nang cherier cái cái cham then mean a che tribe so ku and that's why it is very important the society benang this knowledge of love for each other think many generation before us golum che mani ma kwen lo a ko che kan lu wow a chiran ke lu you know. Some of these people went to Raneriton. Some of my uncles were in Nasser. Some people were in Maiut, Kene in Pibor. We have to, we this generation have to enjoy that. we have to move around South Sudan. And the only way Ben will move around South Sudan is to understand people. Ayen will kun nya ke chen ke ro be ra cha nya lwel, and I hope people understand that. Ukuba jal mate in Joseph. Uh, nation is a nation. The moment now, the moment we change our whopping thing, if we change the way we listen to stories, if we change the way we see each other, if we change the way we interact, we are more likely to change South Sudan without even money. But then what we change is all tribal generalization. Na lwele na man kulwele bala kukache tonchale kulwele an or bato ko chen balanga wan pare wala ko bako jatong bugalo kulwele ato kanang kichu woje ban inti indom randit chen kulwele meta inane kichi community chen bawe e yire ke unno ko ban chaga choka che uto no ban achin uni chen pio ban uta nang chen pio ko uta nang ko ke rin. And that's why it is very important that we need to understand for us to be equivalent to Kenya. Kenyan concept and concept ya de Kenya lwel. Now kor babun ya dungo la kalwel kwani, don't you have something chikuru kicham? Kija lwel yes, kalwel take poku, palkutong. Loku kuru kicham kuyen ka ben wanya ni nale. Tong e po. Because alwe na good kuru tene man wato kukachin ke ber kucham. E politiken. In ga yin la na lor pan chol Eldoret ka lo Nairobi challenge. Ayu ke chicken nim kuot ken kometen ko lo ga bira lo war pira la biru lo. Kobro ku ka ya ter na le la give me a chance to talk. Na le ke pogo le ke chama be ke ni. That was the politics of the 1970s. We, this generation now, we must have that. A politics whereby people don't abuse each other, you don't generalize each other, learn from each other. Another thing came and advise ne in the Lamed than in Joseph. But they will in the like and they touch me. Those are mine. Kacha incha la kacha ne. Kuinamet. I will be stupid enough not to listen to them. So if you can be able to have that wisdom to bala can, then do we have platform? Ting man chaman dai walk che show ke chu loy man ko ke da dai ko ke tadro. The rest of TikTok ku Facebook ku ngo ay yo kala rotban. Min jam walk to na chiran ji to ko to chiran la da kuma. Chiran la ko kwanda pe. Nobody is saying bad things to others. And the moment that culture is developed, we can learn from each other. So nong randa ban so in chale Joseph. Inga korbe ti war ka pin dia jala wa ko nyata.
Jak
Ya ta dia tanga.
ayen wa chamoda jak
Incha mo da rol.
ayen ya zanjur ga dan cho yo nam lakin rian chin nom an chala kot
According to mo.
amen ayen chamoda amen tio ga ren morocco
Huh?
bien jam tin morocco ere lantin
You know it. Okay.
ah taban len ga dan de gule ke jongo because generation dan kan taban junub sudan wa ina jak
Eh.
kaya jel kaya kok atan bichaga ko ke man men tio ga la ka jel fi dola
Non ko ju kon to Morocco ten
bai
we.
ai kaya juj because
Okay.
masalan tabin ban Libya ba ban Tunis ku ban Jazair maradin go ban pial bin toga banenti ne leke Niger
Eh.
kaka bena situation kwando la ke gendo en ka ben jam ne jak men na pad pa bi ko ya ba ka bi ping den erin shab al junub Sudan wala ka ngawone shala ka shabab achila kai jal fi dakle dola nangala kalan koy long nyutin gulela kedana intar ku ke nuer ku jala monja lakin ba pocha da zamanin relo fi Libya
Eh.
warel ka nuer inde yini jalbang nyutin ke chol watan te chini nyang nation
Eh.
mana to achin ke de chol gabriel wa jaba rel doriten ku tinga koy ke rel fi junub Sudan ke gen wel katar ke nuer ko monja ken gene siyasa miet den che to jine jak ta dugan wedi kon ke grej ba men tio ka kon ka o wachin po ke chol ka watania e dom tok men ko ke gre nyal bija dok pin ben watania leutin kutan shab
Tap
junub
the
Sudan achin
screen.
po ku
Tap the
chen
screen.
watania watania ye wet ba bai ba kan yar hatan bichak chen ke cham tin ke in kon cham dun ka kon yar lakin junub Sudan asa bran bay men gule yin yar bai ka chi ngi chi le koy ki re le ra ke yar bai en an ti da eleng zaman en bi dictor jona 2000 takriban 2003 en bi en wara I remember chi 2003 apen bi
ben lo tong raja.
takriban en bi ke gasal bakir me yadit ku jala yen malong awan
Ben
zaman
lo
en
tong
jam ke
raja.
ga bien la tong raja ya le 2003 takriban en ki gad lakini chatinga nyinen dictor jon waren ting indiar de karel mangen chogbo manga bigi ya wa ko wa chi jat nyal bu wa wa jat nyal ku nyudo a 2003 a chit pen
Three,
diji kede
2003.
a chit pen diji
Okay, tang
bu
wer
bu
ga
wa bi
waren
wo ga jat nyal
tang le ren ken ko Christian solidarity on yene lo la mi da ye ko oj fi chumal bar gazel on me that there was celebrate they lo ken ko Christian solidarity 2 or 3. Yep.
alen ke chi ban loel ko japing den ditor jo ne chatinga chen nom wel long bi masalan chen nom wel long bi kharab ma in west chen nom wel long bi was man jemen gen a chi loel pan gen ka wi ku bo loel ke pan mit chan bu mit bi lo rel ke ku chin ke da wan lo ke yong ku ti we ga jur chal masiria ku jala we ga kedang la do ka mit ko do ke lo gor kwa ke yo we kena ba a chulok loy tani na jak kwaren le dictor jon ji to ke ga SPLM ya dong men buku na adwel jamba kir me yadi wala chi adjep ka da cha liam ko ke grel tim tio ga ko tar ke we ken ke lul ka ba nyu go tong po men chin be abu na wona yok ka kwen mitin kwaren le dictor jon le bai ka buk lok lel bia ken mit ko ki wa jal bai ne jak kwa oge chile ka oge lel bai war en ko war o iner number 2 wala ran chi to zaman en tek bai be a cho na ku le ni la be num lai mo chan bele le doctor jon la bai chi lok ben be ke chira loy la chan bele le gen kaka a watani en ke gloy war lakin man tiok zaman da ne re lok tin chap kan chi pol a chi jale chi ran jam na sa ko ya jal mieten ke shabab wala tutmia big ben libya warwat ke rel fi dakale junub sudan a chi radio en kan be men kalan ko chi jal fi dakale dola hel o ko motanin ko citizen ku jala bany walui ka bai ka koko en ko loitin ko itu bidong baza ko ya ngang nang lang we ku mana tu ni jel bala yi za afrika wa be no za afrika ba jalan chigi bala yin ru war den di de tem ken mena war a che ken nang bai panun de ne lengen mena awan tamam na cha en ka jel bala bor kula kurel tin ga chiran ti je ana to ka bai pana kala ka guirot wala ka tongo lakin ko ke gulu hukumai achila ka dai sharp den ku sharp chila ka hukuma dai chi ko nya lege na kan ke noer ko mon jang ko en tong tar ko number dia ke don ka tir bai men je ke grela ko le ko kwa re lo ko chin wo ke dom a ke ko chi dong ke ngot bai lakin ko ke lan wo ke rana lui bas bin kwan ke ni ba ban ting terel wo tin ku nyai ke bin bai bin era bud yu ganna awa yen ke chala ke kinya ku kong miet ku tin ngoya ka ngi tin ke mana tu ya ka ngi bai ala karaj ko len ko blok ban tin ya en ke tingo loyer kana jak ku shukran ga jile
Yena pia the mit yena ka in ja le ku anang ke chalwel ne ke ne lwel man cha the way go on, I did an interview ana chi interview lo an mit Libya we mit Morocco ka kan an ke interview lo a chen man to ka bi yo ku le lan ko la ja ka chalwel yo we bai wan ku ba we la te mo de wer man cha go lo ye non ke wan ku ti juro go be tem re te ne ka la de ne ke tonda kiran wo la dong re ke to ke wo pol ni anje nyen bilo nyu piu radio chok we have the same thing we work when during the war walk chini some of us walk ko an lor ko wa mi tare wa chi join wa chi chung nang tuk tuk e kini ke ne le la ba ya be ding mia e wa bu muk pio so al mem ke to Na cha lo hong like that yen kana chu bu wo war ko majority of us war chi bana here. We don't see that walk cái trò có cái cho Jewish cho mình nang fi nyar panden e yi cái chen mat lekin cái trò cái walk te na cha ben nong cái dun cham cái men kui ka man ro chan ba we chen mat lekin man nang cái coin so to whatever cha the way tin mi te ya ka yo Libya ku mi lo Morocco e mi ke ben la Nigeria wa nong mi ngai la te cái mali ka we yo cái do cái cha dom cái jen cha ror beran we ke be mu ya go dwer ya go kwot by the way you need to understand this akokola kai ke de te ya an ji sura wa nan akola go ngong sura la yo sura ga garang mo bi wache na wan la akokola garang yi garang wan jel ke 1965 they suffered can be ban Kenya a good be thing on jale be jot nyanda de ga yen dai di de period sometime ke ji sura be ona ga cha bla yina ka ko la go la ko ga yen ko ben ga ye ke family in ga nang sura ya ga tinga cham garang ga chi che than che tao pin again to that was in Kenya before he went to America before he came to America so ko ba lo ye chmana de yen bran ne le ja long go ba lo mi an ne mu ka na go ko ko babela kweni kitako. So look after yourself. We muk South Sudan don bang dang ya na cha la yuk. Ko ye ka pingi jeng di de pingi je Australia tiong ko ye ka kola pano Australia. E nuer ke kola pano Australia. Nuer ke bilo we forming the first community organization a called Sudanese Community Association in 1989 ke chin jeng to. Ulanka kuma Australia bi na lega form tueng bay. Go nga go rande ma ke yen be abe jeng ke la dirman ku majority ko ke bo en an go den de en when I went to Australia ran lo ya choren e tan pom de je mo yan bala before bo wara gang de be tanye yi jeng ne wer must coexist and they have always exist and jeng na whoever must coexist chirman to win man tenge chang pia ta wil e very difficult na ba mo lo bangi kana kana mo je aya kwanto ele bra jalo la lo ko lan lo lakini chil banyi abi na we ro te na lo ko rin ka ko le an mo pe an mo korok ka bra wel ko le yen an mo an mo abiem you will never know in ke tan de tan tang ton bongo che pie ye cheng de kan jeng a chil banyi en ke tan de ya ba la tang ko mo bolo ko to aga ber ben yi mun dare kan borden kwal they have coexisted. So natural along like that, look after yourself. We are knowledge. The kin you must help knowledge. Number one, meow. Number two, the dior. Number three, eba ke bichokila no kulo kwa langwen liam. Number
drugs too.
four, ye young lo kulo wundo na yina torbe ye. E chwet ke in kaj lakin un pe chame je. Un pe a chini chaka ke nyin tongu ko wagwa. Kaka ye wa yogon kulela have never been a refugee and God punished South Sudan because of us. So chat kapiet, right? Yake nyale jabu koi ben jayo au kuruga
ka
che.
le da ye na fa da ya ka le da ka yo ko ki ra Libya e dom to ner ko mon jang ko jala ba gabel ki reltin ki ga ngi jaw tan den awa en ge inshallah kalam dan South Sudan en ken ke nyo ki ga dan ya rot
Okay.
lakin tano ka yo ko ki rel junu ko ki dong junu men tiyo ga ngor ga tar ke inshallah ke gabliye e ngeg le len wer ander ken le len anyo ak ander ken le len chuluk der ken kede ka bo lo ten ayo ku nyar chan aleng te chi ok bentin awa ware le ke utem kan suppose belenga kan awen le ka sapin le bi ko ya ti tok chimani ne jaga tan mit ke ra Libya ku mit ke ra Tunis ku jala mit ke ra la ena Niger ku jala yen ke de ni chal ke Jazair because Jazair en akbar dola fi Africa ten allow je pay ku chat de ne ko chatin sara den gene ko je ke yo ke to pin
Mm.
biliet ke kwot kana e pat bedong tare ke chan blang safina on ko tie to tin hel ko
Uh,
kwan dola
I
ke
will
de ne
do that.
ngi ka
I will do that.
ai
I
ke de
promise.
ne
I promise. Gat and nanong nin chakayok. I will actually be looking on ake chakatito, but I will be bringing those stories long time. So nearly can in chada pe taka pet.
yin
Yang anang question warka.
aya
Pingi
ni
awa
chala
ko bi
ifa
jala teje ta dia.
And can I
ko ga ben bo jam
Bara
ke
bara
question?
bigta inchirer wa
Yeah, of
in
course.
bena.
na
In,
Ajak,
this guy jam
Ajak,
eh
The victim, the victim,
Ajak,
man.
eh
Yeah.
yes,
Okay,
ayan
get
John
out.
Garang.
John.
Lang ran chol your name kan, lang ka tin yuj bala again
Okay.
because he's also brother. Choka man chi na chi ka ko chi jal ka pat bu ka dead pot ku ngot ke ya ke ko.
Mm.
Yes, ina brother kot. Ka balwelen kin tin ka we ko ya tu wala tin ka yin. Abana masik tin mi the rel ka we. Na to ko lang nyo kol chi jak lwel man kwen ba ben ber ko. Aku era na e jeng long
Eto ka will te den jam din. Eto ka will te ni ke ya ne tek din.
yona.
Akut.
an mama wula ya
Ya will eto ka will.
Okay, okay. Na kaji ya aku estin manawul because lang chong chi ban we be wari na jak chong di chol chong ma group.
98.
Ajal pi ajban ping man kichinen bay ko ga chidot fi junub Sudan. E
1998.
ku ngi waro war e ku which is a ted ya. E ku ngi wara lo nen junub Sudan no la lo nen pin no menak chok.
In 98.
Tarwen ka ba lang bay
was
ki dot
88
In 98. Ikir 98 or kir 88.
e ted
was
e
88
mani
was
automanin.
88
Okay,
uh,
kujala ki
Mani
98
automanin.
raja. Eh.
Ya, kaya ni no ko lang chong ware ping na chong ma group di ware ping. Alang ko chi no ko pe. Yoli da. Ali. Alang ko chi no ko pe. Kulong ko pir laman ko pir ka chi kan rai ben yang ping. Randet after chi rab jala ki chi lo ka chi de rai nim pet be. Lakini aki gwa cham randa da jorul ban kwal bila dom randa. Bra branda la kwal. Randa la tin buong randa kwal. Quran de jol the first chamrap the first day chamrap la cham bat la man bi cham bu gudi which
Oh.
is called etong man jang chol ke chol de grap I wish a chak de open.
Mm.
Yes, I told to one of my brother yesterday kedet chirot pak media alwel ke ko kok chuwe ko mukzatu taban la gen wa kol we chap junub Sudan we anyang kang pin o finia ko ka zrup kware oktin ka chet darja de grap rap wada ke yande intimal look at him after some good weeks or after some good month bran bena ta ka bokot ke balwel tini ran chala kot we ka cha wo lo we sharp junub Sudan tija special pandunin pan chala wulman jaman ke achini tong le visa gal chop laman be ya pande de longo di ko nywe gutin wala bar jala ngat ke det bala cham di de lo yok pande ukujinen ko kok bi wo yok kwedi bak jala ka buget pan tu che man kin bak jala tingi nyin de le lang ko che la chat sa đó ko lang ko ko ben to wir ko lang ko ko ben ke ga nok sijini which is the same that chanyang pin wala chin kat bai pandu yen ke lela na wa lang go bo pandan jo jinum sudan chin an nya den be guir wala chin an pelen be rai ka dan gu chi ngot ba tem de lang ka chok tin ko chi ngot ba tem de ra ten blang ka pa do ko ni rot tin asa for example shaba wul acin ko war ke fi junub Sudan ke chol mawulat e shab lui hawul
cha
burun mu
betem to ga
wal
kadang ako
tidan
in cha betem to because zaman liu
tidan
an
chana
kedun
tab
lel
jam dia
tidan kedun
chana
lel
tab jam dia chana
Ye
tab
tidan
jam dia
kedun lel
malis
la yin ga go ga chei because singi de le
chan
ko ka jel
chan
ka sa ker fi dak le dola alan ne chok
chana
ko
tab ken
chei
Your name
en
chana tab ken
John
eh
John kai da ka ba
na
loy
Era
John
ko paran to la jam bu ko ro jwe.
John
mm.
yani ba John
oh
ten ke pal ku ya ka bi ani John ga ba ba experience to ba ba la yena ni je jamar ani je jamar politiaka. If I tell you what I am why min yal ma machine and ba lakin a good example kai ko chay or 1992 1991 1990 ko wa yemi ti ga jor mer ko yi wor ko bukro wo ka bi lo indol yuku team la jor dubat wo ka bi lo indol ku yuku alat ka dubat yu ka wa wo kai nun a cha lo nong chuk tuk tuk ku jala ben alin chi chong no in la team kwa team ben basal be ke basal bangori kwa chi cham a chan bi lo yu war wati go Australia ting cha kwa team wo bo wa chi chok wan wan na un ka tal mit ke ku lo ko bu team to inde bu to un ga jot kin ku yin mit ke wo chi chok no ko cha wo chi ko che e jieng ka che ko pe wo chi jon wo chi chok wo ka pik bar mil distance beta 2 kilometers almost chan bu piu be pande a un ko bo lo je jam ram chi jib ka a tap na jaro ti jon ku jal ti ben ko le yo ngotar wo ka jor ke mer ko lom ur ko wo ka jinang in take example an last born an e cham only to come and find out that you are better than a slave tinang another junubi kain cook ke ye cha kor ba ben ber wer ke che we ke ber ke koi war koi to man koi to pan junuba Sudan anong nge ke personal reason ye cha cook personal reason na jwire na le ko ka dia win ke aba go ga min example ne inji tin jon war chala junub ai de chala ger balang don de chala ger warap kari ai riane cha ta riane chala lime bila duong ga mana to I have two thing ebala eba ela duong rumbe so I have two thing either I have to sell out my reputation bala limo wo or bala lime riai ku ba dol or jam dia I la to jam what belong to me la to rumbe so I have to come back to Juba. That is my reputation so kilo ya leke anang personal stories kuma nong in personal stories do go law on that pani Junuba Sudan ya cheni liech anchila war bai nankok anchi dai Juba. I will give you example and lara and you are a man don a man well long. The guy left he left Bargazal in 1984 kind of more. In 1984 Ethiop is not receiving money and he has been deployed to areas when Ken and Ben Dubai Mineria by. It happened with my cousin too. It happened with another old man. Chabelo Kachan Panrazim Boloyon. He went to Bargazal. He was stuck in a wheel for 22 years, almost. Now while Leben Gulaben could be here and Jijal with over. I can met Kukachen get that. So okay, Pani Junub, Ananka nang at the pay. Kunanang nang at the pay of cook pio. Dang Loratia, but Marine John. Ko chi bana ge na jal warin du bi ge. I will tell you a story too. One of my friends came to America in 2001. Na tu ko boku letan. I was very upset with them. I have to find a way, not even in a very legal way, but at least Ben to come and meet him in 2006. Pan America, not Australia. So ke kar balwel pal ke doku bela ke ti ran chi jal aguchi in your name cha kor ben be ran chi jal anang personal stories ke kor ku buya wi nan ke in ke dole che li yi deng ni ale ke dole je li garang ma biore ke dole che jel ko ju e bran ke bi ne le cha pyal gu na ko ya ni ar pan ne na mi che la agude cha ka war pan jeng ke yi cha la rir ne ko aye wal wela ke kor wal na to ke ni mo nya wan ne chan wala ba ke la yo ga bi mi la malwal ba wong du ben la mai na mi ka nyir ku jal ga gola ti aketi ka yin chi kok ko ku o so pal ku ya tik bar ngare bigta awan
Okay. Uh,
yeah
Victor, ja wana ma than ben and lighter.
okay
So I think Victor in Japan like contribution before.
okay yeah
And by the
jaman
way, and because been about like quite
yeah
chilly participate. In fact, we have pointed out almost all the problems the country face currently. These problems, of course, the Bulwell government, failures. Government failed before, but before it failed,
mm.
government and engage SPLA. Let me talk of SPLA and SPLM, of course. SPLM and engage before Kajan Java Ben could be chen man.
Mm.
So SPLM a chuan yin loy. If not tongue and no man now, the things take a talk, examples in most of the communities, man. Anything that symbolizes healthcare, anything that symbolizes education, anything that symbolizes communication, kakaben, anything that symbolizes connection, transport and connection, akachi SPLM achika kangol bakata in place.
Mm.
Aneng del the kwer the manyu kadang maram roads chika kang tau by the SPLM the manterwa. Kweneng some signs, some hand palms and bottles, I check a wetping in some
Correction
of the counties
correction
or some of the payams.
correction water tanks were put by the high executive council all the water tank in South Sudan is SPLM. The High Executive Council
Mm,
1970, 1972, 73, 74, 75, 76. All across South Sudan, those were
mm,
the government of High Executive Council. I think SPLM
okay.
and Maram Road were also demarcated by the whole government. Kiyen jalakra SPLM bor Juba Road ku jala bargazal bangelo lakin numali Juba Road American USAID. So I can get you
Cut
SPLM.
again.
I can get you SPLM. No, it is.
No,
Angod.
no. Of course,
Yeah.
I book a little SPLM to Louis Pale. I'm not here to
Akin
support
fail, I should
SPLM,
well,
but
can fail. Yeah, it's just a history can work
of course,
corrected. Yep.
okay. I share Michelle. Now looking but then in most of the schools, the recent school, primary school, check a booth SPLM, I just think a booth. Kiri and you are thinking, ebe by kubu ben language because our society is light or in darkness.
Mm.
If we can even go back to the history in the 1947 in the Juba conference,
Mm.
that conference actually were and our elders, our chiefs, they were demanding kubinang kanishol akuma de nama binang panden. But when the statistic was given like that quality big run match, achibe yoga liu. So that was the main even British listened to our problems. But I can solution because they are incompetent. We are not aware initial socio-economic developments or transformations. I hear Ben, I hear and any be how people we quite
Let,
in that society how
let
we
me
are
help
goal.
you, Tan Bajalban. Let me correct you a bit.
Coming to
Ping I drop
okay.
Arimba can correct it. After independence in 1956, 2 years after independence in 1956, there was a marathon movement by the government of Abud to build schools all across every district of South Sudan. That's why in NATO, if you have seen the big school from Rumbek Second School to Bor Intermediate to Panakar in Yerul, and a lot of schools in Barkazal, they were built actually by the northern regime. So all these concrete and very strong schools that are there, they were built by the same Arab that we criticize. Now, Barely at the parliament that is being used now by the SPLM was built by the money that is coming from the north. I can in the south we were not producing oil by 1972. So the parliament, the ministry of the J1, the government building that are now being lived into were built by the government of Abelalia. The Juba Bridge was built by the Dutch and the UNHCR. With the Saman Yeting Juba Yela Bay Japan. So majority of the things that are now being used by the SPLM were built by the High Executive Council. You take example, you go to Bor, the house that is being lived into now by the governor of Jonglei State was built in 1912 by the commission of the British. So akilo rado kor ku buya nyo ta la na chilwe la lu ku chen akor ba ya nyo ku le wotato ne chi ke ne achi no
I'm not
cha
talking
date cha
on
ne
development. I'm talking of socio-economic transformations. Socio-economic transformation, yeah, man, use the Akejas Amak society, the Akeja sensitized, bigger transforming culturally or economically, in which way? So in we
so
figure
that
out
mean
because
ke da
we
kor
have
bela SPLM akor bela
so
SPLM
could
gan
be a yes, of course, a little bit like SPL, I mean, like, but we ourselves, watching and Kichupting, a little like society, a little like our communities that you have to change in this way
okay
because mindset and look and live within it. A government will come ku bijaneng programs lo ke ku ben ko pyoj ku bu chirga ka biro ger I think failure katika ka society is also contributing to that so
agree
because kanana lu na elwela sa government ka keja stabilizing security okay security okay tau into a stable kadang based go citizen go ke aleng opportunities big socio economic kadang big economic activities can be always run peacefully
mm.
or without interruption na tiang wo that to ko shabab o youth culturally especially dinkas and nuers I will be talking because I'm not much I don't know about other tribes, but
Mm.
Dinka and Nuer and mindset can well that these people are hardworking, and from my understanding, that they are the laziest people in the world.
Mm.
And they will not accept. They will abu already
Ma
recently.
thought you are right.
We
You are right.
well
And
because
yeah, yeah, you are right.
because nothing man.
Mm.
I think man ran a liberal lawyer
It was
lo na
founded,
chien
not.
cha below and vinya
Mm.
barrai.
Mm.
And below na chien ka barrai ku kwachila East Africa method, there is no insecurity in East Africa. Take for example in Kenya, Kenya insecurity then, and they are not even involved in other economic activities. Ayoko Kenya ayo mo in Kenya ke wagri ay ke
Mm.
logara ay ku yin chile balo yin. What do you think? Because Kenya chin ke biba nok chin insecurity then. Ku yin chile ba so much engaging balu ba lawyer because ini jam gan aning pride na lu ay lon chidiken ka nyan ko ke kan ka cha ben yar. This is for dinkas and where. So now that things in Iran, baja transform like how? Because in Japan, my yok mathini kuna chima yueng kunja ben pir geo pir chinja ben pen engolo baja leo pen because anang things labin ka pir geo awe the mas ba en pirin
You are
kuna
right.
pir with ba yok den with.
You are right. In
So these
100%.
things ake ka ya ka lwel mbe ka lwel figure out like na chuka jangi mana ke ka problems government and contribution did it because government in ya creating programs ben ka bai ben ke pio because panda pan lai dong we e ban jelai dong we kun
Hydro,
Ajak,
in be jam.
Ajak,
Eh,
mm.
le ba yen opportunity ban where hydrophonic ba kadang ba
okay.
jwako.
Okay, piat ku ti
Eh,
e kar be ka kan jam. Hydroponic kan ka tin ba jwe kin ten pin west ten. The richest people man ba ten pa na ka waja. A ko ye ga chol the plumbers, a ko ye ga chol the handyman. Ko ye ga pin ga yelu ya a good ba ten can I tell you who is paid more than a degree holder pa na ka waja? A truck driver at the mining area. Kujola na rande no ko construction area era na paid about $100 an hour. Akor ke choret kat pan ka pan Australia kulor ku chi balo into construction area. Akor kuma ni ben wo kon ang degree yan man ku yin yan kan jel. Lotin. An pale ke ge yimi die chong yen. Kular tin chana go mit chemu. So yi du ke yelwele if we change the mindset war chala te chala yo junu bar. Ku pel ka je piet pen. Ku lu ka. Ka mu chala re to man a good bye tin kuma chin. E garang ma biur ke yelwele hydroponic. Achina kuma ya kuma to chi citizen chen ya paying taxes. Kekene ka kor bi jala lwel bi gam che man war abe ananga kokol ja pinga kokol moin Somalia ran tin ko re jel gala e kwarar South Sudan ye chin. Kechin to chin. The guy is a millionaire now ko pan ne na logo mi da kekene apartment a che ka yi East Africa. Ko lo ye chin. Keke chala yo war ke ton karere ben we akuma jala la chan ba business ba gol ke ne South Sudanese a che koch. Because all the registration korke tara wena yenera anti bena anti ko ke foreign as I ben kulu connected kana commander or kana randa pe kulu la yen you I will give you 10%. Kara wore ka ler ku doi ke yo. Na jalo ku lori ni sa Sudanese be yen business license go to in 1 year. Ke in loku lo pio pat. So ka ke ben ne be ke lwel be ke la kuma mia te ko be ben. Ku ben ka jami na kuma cho citizen kulao. Queen citizen ya dari de ba mare ya ke cha kuma eto ran ge kikir ma ya di loy ko ka che loy makta be waran je ko ka yo ke ran lein pa appointment ko chila yo makta be chila yo makta be ku ba e pa anda na mani le balu 8 hours 9 hours kuin a 1 hour break ko china kuma ya kuma te chi citizen te che ka lu so I agree with you uh mading wo ka be da jal gur yong intit chon bi ti ku ba tang dia ta dia war ga meta ta dia ku ti men ta ja my first time ba ba lo yan beta pinyawa ko
aka ba le la da yu pi go ba na.
an
Hala, get mute.
bigta bara kita ku ba
Okay.
an kan jam
Uh, Cool, bro. Can I jack?
eh
I would recommend but this show by alloy at least like either not the time either once a week or twice a week.
okay
Ko ba ba ka topic ka gonum but that agenda ka jam then because ngak even ka their own agenda ko jam ya ba ay raj.
team rada
So at
Daniel
least
Daro be
you know
20
yeah
minutes ko be man
yeah. So at least just make sure ba ka topics ko
mm
ba ka lo discuss the two topics a day with the next session. Uh kana we with one da ke chima ding bay nyal won kada na do banjal
an
can you hear me jack
to in pen
okay e ko won chi ma ding bay nyal bat da ke chim weta won bat the Berlin's conference
mhm
I think a coach ko jwe ko ka chi ngai you know how
we
Africa
ba
was scrambled
bete ben nga ya ben ku we bang de
let's say we got to
eh
okay panda kina de resources ina jack
eh
could the neighboring countries cocker are encroaching into our land
mhm
so when chick ban a quick who is the biggest threat Yemen I think this political turmoil
Hello.
will exploited
Mhm.
ku lo yung danger tactic because now oga weak militarily.
Mhm.
I think any neighboring countries ko jalo ka ko kwa ala bedak ala be ko jor wu many time.
Mhm.
Borders I think a lo encroached. She ko ju benten. But Chuman Nalu could trace back to how Africa was scrambled by the European countries.
Mm.
Ka ki yok how uh, Otto von Bismarck, who was the vice chancellor of Germany then, chaired the conference. Thing that he was the one who pushed for it.
Mhm.
But the push actually did not come from him because it came from King Leopold
Mhm.
from Belgium.
Yes.
He was the one who drove the agenda
Mhm.
because he was interested in securing Congo
Mhm.
by saying, you know. So the conference, IK 14 nations, but seven, Kega Kaloi push. Now, Aluku translate to Kete Okten right now.
Mhm.
In Ayuku, you the biggest, the push, the Bellu drive, and Adekuba, Kenya resources. I think apart from Jimena, Kenya, Ethiopia, Uganda. I think where would you think the big push Ben from? Kuliburu protected kada
Yes.
at this stage and
Yen
talking now.
ichwa bani korbu anbe am making a day kubu kakabu kalwelin yin kumadi.
Please make sure that baga kadang. I wanna be there for that one.
Okay. Yin ba kaka ban ka yi choto kubu jam kene ke an jam wo be jam kene in Victor. That is very sensitive and very very sensitive in a way that kor bene yaping up yat ko ka piot pal. Wer jalwele ten kulelo wis achiran cheturet. Yen nang na cha dai lan chol bang bar ku chilande yo ke yen nga te den ba ka ting na dai western bargazal ko to western bargazal num tu nang te kacha king leopold ne yelwele ni je chi pyo dira ke chi juba che belum juba ye part of his enclave. uh oh, we have a big boss here. Yeah, he's here. Yeah, Zol. Welcome, Yaida.
يا أستاذ حقي أستاذ الكبير.
Yeah, no, in the house that's good. Marab.
يا والله تمام تكرا وفوال.
Yani ke yin che ke dalo piat che he
والله
was
كلا
very happy.
ناويك أنت وجاي كوي كان باي وجاي كوي كان باي وأنا
Abuna
مبسوط
kun
منك
mak
أنت
you
ما
no
قصرت.
no. In ba jayo ko yung into tani ba yo. Let me talk. Yen you
أوكي.
deserve more than anything. You deserve appreciation more than anybody. So Koloratin and that's it's good that you've been into this show because you are already doing what we are saying. Kilto in what is there in Victor? South Sudan ato under every I can get around it yet ready. And the only time ben ko ken nim ku ke ya threat pinum ke di den ben wo kan jamia before territorial unity ka kor ke chol human unity. Na diamond tung kare re chang di dole la Arab ku jola Persian chimane Iran ku jola be ko chimane Russia. Unity is the most important thing. Because kero kan date and bo ni because the key society aguna dai war man dai ka lo ro West Africa. Kiriyo Burkina Faso ena yelo indola be friend cheman reading war cheman war we cha do ni garang. Kayin chula bo la be bila ku le yin ku le chai. Yen in Victor. Yung imbre wa yin be chen wa yol ku yen in mo bargzalati. Ka jalwele no yi dun chilekin. You turn on your own friends. That concept by South Sudanese and it work at a political stage. So ke better year bani Junuba Sudan a chinterir. And chi the borders nyin ban and bol gol minu bo morobo. Nye che border nye pet anyikaya. anyi kirwa, anyi che majali, anyi che late jeli, a board of kaji kana moyo, anyi numali, anyi mogali, loboni, awanali, sartanya, kidipo, new kuch, nakodok, to Narus. And from that area, I went up to the border of Ethiopia and chanyi che pochala. Achin tichana ban. Tichana iten. Aka tikana ni tinware yen bargza region meiti bara. I stop at Rumbek. So ki kito najala gol kulele jal gol min mile 14. Bala gola ta Upper Nile. Achin tichana. So kilo irat ke gidid beni jamtin. Kena topic abu to for another day. Ku wabe jam. Mading.
Don't call it a question to get on by Mark Bajatok.
Yeah.
It's about the history.
Uh,
Yeah, Ajak, as a journalist, I want to quit. And I've seen it. I think the last live show, the shows in coach in look corrected then. Let on ban wrong history. When you look at our history, go the Nyanya one, then Nyanya two, SPLM history, I told a ding kaya bias a little bit
mm-hmm.
based on who is telling it.
Yes.
Because I've noticed this, right?
Yes.
Our history is being told according to the person's agenda,
Yes.
but not on factual records,
Yes.
right?
You're right.
Now, could be the young, because okay, when you were told something when you were little, you take that at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
right?
And that
Because
become
little worry, and you become, because it's already indoctrinated into your brain. Like this is true. Waiting either little worry or little more, well, your uncle or another elder in your community, you would take that as a truth, as a sort of truth. Kuna bera andela ben ba den gulwe na ken na che right, right? The right history is this. How are you going to unlearn the first history you were taught when you were young? Now to come to terms with the new ones that you were just told recently. Deg eskaira won chukwen. I think a good quite desire. Kegel liberators actually contributed because take liberation struggle, take a narrated into their own families. Sometimes it could be wrong. Because these days, what I have seen, right? Kukana be me the benya. When I use.
One example, okay.
Now,
One example, okay,
the
Bajal the way to tell. One example,
okay,
okay, to
okay.
correct you on that, to add on that. One example, okay, lo rot about town. Na pinga ko kulele mane kulele la. Lwela yen when I yakin lwel ko kulwela on kon wa bang mo pi bo town.
Mading. Oh.
Mading. Na lo ku jalle ko kulwela way that is not the correct history. Yen correct history, and I have to interview ko get a thing. Correct history, the Sudanese army after the unit at Malwalicha refused to be moved. Malwalicha is about 3 or 4 kilometers south of Bo town. Now, when they refuse go jera and actual James Loro go to Sudan, pi Juba. That judge is the one that attacked Malwalichat. Malwalichat was attacked. Achin Junubi that shot the first gun. That is the correct history. Carbino was in Boreto Karakon. When already Carbino Bokang Adich knock went there. Come a Jol went there. Because Makir were the first victim of the attack. So the Sudanese army attacked 105. That is the correct history. And good enough, I was able to interview Tinkarumino. I was able to interview Manyanga Agog, the survivors of the 105. But for SPLM came and used that as a propaganda that we shot the first gun. Now, but correct it, Tangran, you will be lying.
I've seen you going back and forth with that.
Okay, you will be lying now if you tell that. Now, take example, somebody went and came and lied. Woolen lo wulen ne ba kan kumon wala wulen die no go jalo ma chang Deng wala la ba ku me pano Sudan wala la ku me no e my uncle alwe yen ni chen den mi wa ke
Mm.
pano Sudan la kan kum wala la yes kid wala bi ayi lakini che pano Sudan he was a chip by bank
Bo district.
manatu yen ma che ku monya wan mo ka ku monya wan chan ka ku monya rande wara pa ku ya puk ele bande ka le benyi so yan chan to correct this thing man tin ne ka kor bena ka jam ku da pale nyin penyela Victor they have already
Mm.
composed songs kuna lor ku yuran che dit chak ku le wo ka kwan ware lo ke no ku wo ka lo ke no ku jalio ku le ku war cha taw dit take example an ci mai town na cha go nyodo rakul panda ka ci donge rok ni je din yo ku ker panda cha nyodo rakul ke rok Facebook cha an ci tangi dag nyot ku ka yugo le ba ya chir kartum ga kun mi kun mai ma biro
Jor
ku
mo.
dom
I know that song.
okay now panda ngi tu tangi ka jal na chir kartum kuna lo le ker ku le kai de kur jalo le ken ku le yeni pa tan ngu ke ya kartum ke ga lo le Gitu, pan này cho pin chỉ cái pan anyil, pan pan ko nyika, pan kan. So so to correct people because nang ke man jam wo ke ting man wo chi jam ret. Itu wen. Ba de because ke pil pal pin ku chi ko ter. De because ko nyike acknowledging ting anang ke chol kon current history. War ter ko che man nyanya tu is a very complex thing. Take example on to yi ko on to yikir. Ke ko ka nyanya wan ke to we long ti anyanya two anyanya one can anyanya to one a different factions mi de ke to a go chi yor we ai ke nim kan ko ke ya go ko pe ko yor ko we a wan chi yor we ke ya wan ye ka wan mo ka ya wan pare ke to ka ya wan chan ka yi ka pu ka yi ke twe ka yor dul che man ko gon che man ye ko non ma tiang abi a yor rong den kulong ya ku yor ku we lo ku ya ko forming idea don ku cha ko government don e chol government of this. Now, if you take example, people like Nalek Midmantin Kulula Wake, the first leader before Lago era Nichol Gordon Matat Mayan.
Yes.
Matoto Katoche, Matoto Mayan Monyaga. Yenakajal Najan
That good.
before Yenaka Louis Kade, challenge the government revolutionary government and Louis form before Anyanya. Nalama tot Benga Bugute, Lomgute, Matat Mayan Buguto Nyade, Buguto Lago, Lanu Israel is ala Bengula book a coin. Go ben ku jo lago bi ku toy lago ku le ni lago yin ka bera ran ton ko je pie yin ba to jin ba la Israel ba la pie
Go and secure arms.
na le ke lo ku lum den na le ben ga den lago ko bu ku nyu je den e ku le yen an chi nang den a cha ga ber yen in Gordon Matat go Matat go le ku le okay ki lo ai warin ga yin wariani to Israel e bu ben tor bu panda ben tor lekin a jala ben ku bar ku re ji wen de den ka chin ga an tor wan yin yen lom ka ku lo lo ke du form whatever you form in ka chena la go ben ku jol kai mati ku jola form nga nyanya che tong jeng nyanya tim kror e tong madi e ke ne te che tong mon jang e tong madi ana jalo ku yura men ku lo ku la nyanya wana chin doro to tin nyanya tong dor ku dor ke kon yoror jo dor ke kon nar bo en ke kon dang poti nuere ya bere la lo indul men ku lor ku le yen pan ko ngunde mbong ku man ye chol tichot ake boke ne jur ke bana ake ne British ke eke lo resistance so ki ne ye lwel akukul e lor ber bias koy wan chi tong lo in 1960s yenga den lui ke remember man ku ka be jara man generation ji ben man bigta Nan
Kana
generation
ka
du
ba te
yen du bor
ya
ka
before
tier
can
man
do
ka
land.
ping. Nan generation yin du bor ka tier la ka be ala lwel wer kir ma ya dit ko na jala ti ko lwel tong du to no. In your or no.
Ya ko ya
Kun
ru ba ya.
ka lwel ba gwa yin tong bor. You must put me into the history. So Kalorat, for us to fix history, we must play a role. Bigger ko ni mama a good year concept in liberation. Take example, ipa gana mom ko kon yor we yi garang mo biyor. E
Pa
yor
na nya do.
nyanya tu ipa gan kan mo nyan kan
Yeah.
nyan chin ka nya chulo.
Yeah.
Ale ka
I
yoro
know.
ke aka jal joli kir kala die kan joli kir kala die ku jal kala mar. They were already out in 1982.
Okay. Yeah.
So ka keben yen ke tande ya kola kol ya kol ka war je to nge tande ya
Oh, been okay.
talpa matok. So ka
Yep.
keben until we understand that we make a be a kukul nga ka gam ko timeline de ka dana be mi da be ko kun lekine chin ke chol try a chin tribal history chimana de na kuimi de man ti ne bigta chimana de when to read mutiny happen young were considered ke traitors. By the way,
Mm-hmm.
walk ake ya get 19 walk ake ya get
1955.
1960
1955.
1955 elwel
Fine.
jeng che to
Yeah.
mar kan kawaja ku jeng rej be bai be tor. So walk ake ya get 1955 na le me man me da lwel ha ye yi jigen alwel we started our war in Torit, but yoka bunon gol to tong Torit chin denge to tin go chin garang to ake
Yeah.
dwar. So yen history e ko jam ke ne chalwel bu ko pio palpin kubu jam real stories ku
Can I be but here,
uh,
do you have to be bad question if I landed on?
uh,
The few books I went to get all this get captured. Quite bias because
yes
I know a lot of books have
yes
been
and good
written.
books anang the
Yes, but like Bakalu recommended Chiman on your page
aba can
could be
recommend
quite go Queen as well because they will help them,
anang
right? Because
lwel
history
nebo
taka ko ju jeke ya ke
anang
lwela ko to
anang bung e chol the gaba nang bo chira ne chol Dr. Douglas Johnson chiga gora bo
yeah.
piataret bung abel is a bible, is a very good book,
Okay.
is a very good book. Anang bung chi moñ dor gore chol chebeng South Sudan is a very historical book that even tell you actually the formation of the government of the first military command of the Anyanya one in 1967 and 1966 and 1967. Who was leading what, and then also was some of the things available on the internet are the archive of the Sudan. Archive of Sudan are very good documents as well. These are going back to the 1920s and 1820s, 1821, from the liberation, from the invasion of the by the
Invasion
Ottoman
of yeah.
to Mahdi time. Gucci tong Gucci bana Gordon Fasha, kubana Kishna. By the way, Gordon, nang na bin be do Melbourne next time. Gordon, nene je yene Jebel Gordon na numali chol statue de kaja parliament nam tuenge Victoria. These are well
Okay,
respected. Huh?
I never been there. Actually I will go.
Okay,
Next
next
time when I
time
go to
if you
Melbourne.
go to Parliament in Victoria,
I will let you know what going
okay,
forward.
is the man is known in called the Gordon of Palestine, the Gordon of Khartoum,
Yeah.
and the Gordon of Nang de ka yanilo indulan chene jenya madi no. Na lokichna le by domon go garang la weji we pen madi any jot ka leg by London. Lega per jor. So lega by so kalo rat nang majority meet. Dari da buka konye ke in bigta. Da buka konye buka ja paying attention to that we all have knowledge, all of us.
Yep.
Until we start to listen to each other. We just don't disrespect each other. We just don't think that ngake ngak. Jeng aja ra chene take example ke man in comedian They think that that's who you are. They define that. They don't know the brain that you have. Chaban men ku to chaman dan ko yenin ko gwadir bul ku yin ngo. You are not a equivalent. You are not the type of politician that they should listen to. And a lot of Iran kamera ba. So our society, you are struggling to put yourself into agenda. Ayan ka in a lot man ka then na yurani take example chaman din. Ayurani ka na piat kamera do to. You are not considered. You are not considered worth of being able to inspire people. I am tini the kinwari kwan ka yin man kamera do to man yin le banang ka the camera do na lo ka piat the camera ka lo ka piat lekin cheran ba a cheran. So the brain of a cameraman is as useless as brain of a comedian. That's what they think. That's I never difficult. Ma boy bar ko ma ding jal ba ka da ja gur cho ba ding ba jal and ba da wan. Ma boy.
apia the pay dit at the well kuna chila ka pia the ben ko ento Addis Ababa
Okay.
ai en ko jwe ja chi jam lo ko chi jam kwa chi jal ko chi jam kwa to yen ke chira lo pie dai ja ken jinup ku lo ko bu ko jam tin ya ti ngi chir ken Bible ba kyang jam tin ba ko chwal
Oh, we duk thing me.
ka we ga be duk tin ya
And jam boy. Oh,
Thanks. It's network.
network kira.
Alright. Chama dinga ba?
Ema ding bara am bijal yo kaya tangwan
Yeah.
la wer
Lama
kan
gua
ko ba.
jalan dia.
I was not prepared for this.
No, thank you for making this happen.
Eh.
Jack. I even just realized that he live by. Cuman nang ko aja benda nguat America, go lo confirm ke nguat kunci tara lo itu nguat. What time is he talking about?
Eh.
Karena time dan nguat one on the same time, but yes,
Anta
in
America
kata
so tangwan man.
and you still made this one happen. So thank you very much. Kela paluela ki we koi die in a jack kujala in Victor.
We ke tap chan chi okay. Activity chi okay.
Ke choi nearby, by binyar, yene ke ija loy, kida biro ngom, ke ija loy sacrifice. And then, banang identity do kubra andang bit te kudu chima uncha jam loli, otherwise, one chala to rumbeke. Either by my identity by my kadang, my reputation bala riok, by bala lim, lele kwanja kan or loy kan ban gatewing. That thing. Your identity, your pride, your character, you loy protect. Character da ko South Sudanese kana ko tingi work. Could no matter how much we be lawyer, loku no, re ku Europe, Canada, that thing. America will re ku in Australia, German work out Australia. No. It doesn't matter. Problem one well quite young people want to Melbourne. That thing. No mishkla loy man Melbourne go jota TV ko bo spread everywhere on TV. African gang, Sudanese gang, okay, majority of them are Kansas Sudan Konkai. The thing. But no matter where you go,
You will
you know
always
what
be
your
that.
choice Sudanese. You will always be that. The thing. Kuo South Sudanese are very unique. I got watch America other African side. Where you can identify what to go. The thing. So loving ourselves. Come on, can waran cholo pinum. Ngong Africa. New Africa, it can young no matter where level to pinum. But Africa, Africa ben bula kadang. Abiju no bira bi gol panden. Chima loy ke nyin loy ke panden. Chima loy Ugandese loy ke panden. The same way now. Chika pe loro in the Sahel. The thing. Ka loy go ita ke ken chani kujala kadang. Kutore. I that's the pride. I loy mawan ka loy. I like how that you ma look since the Sahel. since they took the fight, will ke homeland or death, and nama dengan yet bear. The pride and the dignity of culture. Now no well yang ke be kulwele weke Africa is not the leadership any problem. And then quite Africa will delegate the responsibility that ke abjo quite resources, but resources are extract from them.
Bishop Deng bol ke jam ko le manga du rane manga du la twin manga la twin
Uh-huh.
dum du ku bi ku yo ko cham ko ka chani jur to lo
Imagine.
na wan mut.
Mm-hmm.
Eh, that
Look
was
at
the
that.
concept of French.
Uh-huh. That to thing right now, kita work identity da, we need to take it serious. Work identity ba gujin neighbors ko antok to kan yop. East Africa ni ko tinga yo kulele ka je ai ko le ka akan ya yo ka ai le na ke jor bit by bit man ti le anje lo ko jolo. Numili man ka chai na the border. Sete that between that just that bridge then illegal. You got take from Nimili to illegal. It ain't chai in the border. And but few years back we know where that was. Okay. If you keep going like that, on the and when Takalo mentioned Ben, we are being encroached on. Who quite kadang kunaya global from global view, generating East African be wo be mi ene mene. Kujeting globally on the global view. E kai ko ni ko ki work but ke ka jala real work. And so we
Ku
koi go.
kabri er mor mading ke be ko chari re ke pin ban ne bar pin ban te ne pin na anang lolor plan lolor chene ka ku ala tinga imbe ala o ke in ya dongo chamaje ati diar ti ja par nyal junubin mana chiro pel bi technology bi nyi ku bae man bae to le nang on mete karon chene de chene wa karon chene rung ka ye che jalo i chok kapien ka chitul nyal ka man ke ka tul ke yapin aben ina chow mia ke in bi chow lo ku yogi dom du ku chu ku chow chopin ku ye ni nya nyi la ba che chen ke gelirat achin tim balum bi ne kwata pien ku moy ku to ka ku ai ko ke ye na ge age dani tlela ka nang ki to ko nang ke nang ka ngi to don bor ana yu mo bor ku yo gra cha ba yu man ke jala jeng ban na yo ke du nyu che gla mi ai abakwem kalwel ga nye ai akabakwem kalwel ga nye na la ke jo ko mo goro kalwel ke cha la bera ko ate ne cha la ri ba ya ben ya pa we ku pin pa we ya cha ka man ti ne yo ke nyan ka goro pe nyeru ne gore tar nang nyan ana gore tar nang nyan na tin ke man cha ga wer wa da ke man we nang na tar nyan man na cha gor ga ya ko ku wer ku la ti le la ya ti cha nang tul yen ba la tin de kin ni ki chiri er ka mading yen baran ku chrat ba jam ku le baran ku rat ba jam cha ka piro non ye le pira wan ye na wan jam ku le ku ni ti chan ba pelon ye ne pel eliu man tan jeng we mi dwa dit lekin anong men chirir pinyi jeng wara ke ruti adaga kon pani Junuba Sudan ke ne pani Junuba Sudan lo ke pir jiban mane pir do dir ke do te pan war uti mading wa to wa uti ranang chiri are yino eben ku yo chundun chi mama du yenin ku jal tal cha a jol tinga jal kanda ja ke du mi na be jal mier alo yini lep ngwan lo ba ja cham na la karan ri la ben mading man ke ku bi ku yet ku pe te chen mor che ngai la bure ku tongi no me chin ko ten abagame to ngaden do be ya chuna den du ye chulum ku ngwan ku ngwan chin or ba ye ne ban ku jole la ngwan chin in be jal dia in be dia ye ku lo ngi ngwa chin ku dun e ko ku ja or lo men ku lum chin du ku jal in be ngwan chin chin du ne to me bi ko rana rer apia de ko ku jal ga ti jeng da chari rute. Now you don't even need to go to school to understand the dangers of geopolitics. You just need to be a dinka boy chere rute. in order to understand geopolitics is a very dangerous thing. Alignment, man war ne yetting an alignment ting man chaman pan Junuba Sudan ko bu discuss ko won about our ko won. Geopolitics die one best example ka alwel ko Junuba Sudan chi ka kana America. Kin go relationship ka America ko legal well met ka Israel. Iran I twin join na ko chi ka maroi.
Go quick, man.
Ko ku ya ko ma ta pia ku lo ku le la an chi ka wa America kwan ma do Israel kwan ma do Russia. Na lor ku le yen ku le Russia anang over 1 million citizen pan people of that descent. O lo ku le la wa ma do na Arab League. Ko wa yango ku bo ku le wa ma do ni East Africa. East Africa na chin if you are not contributing money to the community. Yen inchin mi school to the aviation school. Inchin intelligence gathering capability. Inchin
Imagine.
technological advancement. Email do about chin in power over it. Agache itwo into wani mwanya nyanya kena into wani jaina akar kulo indole ke ila bibilu yin nduma ne with technology now. Ke Rwanda man. Ila bibu wo yin pandu juba. Kujala ani kan wo clearing tin kujai bieno. Ye ka de korbu ke leke ka we ko na to indanja ka che we ko. Ye ka korbu ke leke. Ke mu kila ke lo ra ka nan ke ye jeng lo war we mit. Lo na yo ran che kul gong mi to. Ko war ko ya ke yu na yu ken ke ni cham ba do ta wi nom. Ku chi ta che ke war ni jeng ta che. Ai lo le cho men ku de ben cho bi chin ting na ke de ke to na lo cho la ka bi nyu ku be cham ngi. Lekin mo ni ye tar gong war ba ku jo le tar gong ku jo chin de kan jo chin ku me bang to karaj. So ka ne ka lo ke people need to know I karaj we are in danger. Tol ga du bu ja.
In Interlatin, Banajak. And thank you for the platform and for allowing these topics to make a little bit of oxygen. Sometime and then quite a then yeah, you know, even though platform at dear, can the cage or ye, Japan gay. Iran 1+1 = 2 year at go away. And thing. And then Kachika Lewis said, Ka talk a principles got you to wa. I learn a mar tok. Katokutok a arrow. Can a principle will never change. Then thing. Interest the man around opinion. It's something that will never change. Ran opinion to did a bear Louis interest there. Now you understand. Because you will have a space. You will have the desire to ensure that your identity stands. Now, identity do kucho coach, ka interest do. Abina Louis fight for.
Aja lo
That's
nyani
it.
shola shile lo gadang da. Lo block.
Oh yeah, okay.
Nyani to.
Aje jorngo.
Lo.
Actually,
Ya ka aja. I think it's scammer.
Ke taw ka ken le korbu ke no daga.
I can't
Ako
deep ga gache ga wow, okay.
ako viewers aja go quite on the screen.
Ke blo.
Okay.
So we're quite bugulo identity that no matter where you go, you move get choice South Sudanese. Even though okay, chak did okay. God you walk did somewhere else, but the man nothing rana you're from South Sudan. That is no go music war lo Melbourne ka South Sudanese gang. African gang ko kai mi nan Victoria. Chatting. Kuwai ne jolo buja lo ke big deal wan watching government and jam thing about it. Wo ko ben go to ko ngi kilo red pinum tir ku nyini rod ku lui ku da we mana da you know what pinum tin ku tin bere kon war mana da kran be interest da loy ku interest do cheran pe en support be na la ga ke jinubi interest South Sudan we interest ran chola ya that thing bu kon go interest da ko wo South Sudanese a guch bo jo la African interest bu ja be la interest ran ben chola pinum ku bu ja be la interest of humanity that thing there are segments ka te to do ka yin kon maintain but to do ba kon kadang and thing but to do call was secure. But they create been a con goal no. It all starts in the mind. I think so. We call it a third one gam. It can enter my in the development.
e
In the legend Victor, in the legend Ajak, wait a level coping. Now you can work over job.
yen apet we ko dai we chakale ku in Victor ku mading da we chakamot. Thank you. I didn't plan to stay this long. But um
Time down what you young.
eh
Let's madam what you young.
tang do na jel de ke wa chating mane ta da tam te ko ta wan de
Jealous.
kwan chi dio ban chi bera me chi we
You know when you ring it and you
eh
ale wir ba de be wir ji mondi.
ali wa chi dio bi an chi dio so an chi dio bi ne an chi bera an chi ber tong we
Lore kai na jaga ji she baba ji kai. In to ran ma to win.
leo pu ja ba te ko ali ali ko
I'm
ko ja bi
wounded.
yo kan
Lore
kan
kai.
ali
Ale
ko ja bi yo kan ka nga la ka dan ka le ngot o yera pe do de an bu ko jal tong we cha ka ngade e yera pe ti le we bu ko ja e yera pe e yera pe we ko